show before the show stuff.
I'm
a little drunk already.
Yeah. So this was kind of weird, and it's kind of just like a little odd story for me to tell. But I went to go get my blood work done yesterday. Funny enough, like I called up them, or they called me, I can't remember, on like Wednesday or Thursday. And they were like, we've got an opening on Friday at 11. And I was like, fuck, that's really soon and that's really early, and I got to work that night. And I was like, well, what's the next closest thing you have? It's like Tuesday. And I was like, well, I got to work that day too, so we might as well do it on Friday and get it out of the way. So wake up early on Friday after working Thursday night, get up there, get all my feedback and everything, get all my scripts taken care of. And then I'm like, well, I haven't eaten, so I'm going to go to another Broken Egg because it's
my tradition too.
It's right there. Awesome. So I went over there, and it's just me. And I'm kind of like, maybe I'll just sit at the bar because it's like I can just walk up there. And then the hostess comes to me and was like, as I told her it's just me. She's like, you want to sit at the bar? I was like, yeah, I'll just sit at the bar. It's easier. So I go up there, and the waitress is kind of seems like she's a little bit dissociated, maybe not super interested in being there, you know. And I was kind of like, oh, whatever, you know, I get it. Like, I don't want to be at my job either. So, placed an order for like a water and a coffee. And, there's like 2 or 3 other people at the bar. One guy to my left, one older guy to my right. Thought the guy on the left was about my age-ish. But turns out I was wrong, but I'll tell about that later. But anyway, I was just kind of sitting there, and he was talking to her, and I kind of thought he was being a little flirty or something, just, you know, whatever. But I was kind of being nosy and eavesdropping a little. And I would kind of look up and look over and look at them, kind of just like watching. And he would kind of look at me and be like, you agree with whatever we were talking about? And I was like, yeah, you know, just slightly being involved in the conversation. And then by the end of it, we had talked about all the trauma in our lives. I felt like it was a TV show, like for real, because that kind of stuff doesn't happen to me. Like, I don't get into random conversations.
Bars will do that.
For real. Yeah. But it was really funny and really, well, not funny. It was interesting because apparently this guy grew up with her oldest brother, who was like, he said he was in his like late 30s, I believe. And she was like early 20s. So she was like a baby when he was hanging out with her brother. And then he was like, yeah, hung out with him all the time, I remember. And they were talking about their house and like all this stuff. They had never met before that they knew of, aside from this interaction. And then it was like trauma drop. It was like her brother killed himself. And like, he was like, yeah, I heard about that. I can't believe that. That was the craziest. And I was just sitting there like, and talking about like, they went to where he killed himself. Like her and her mom went there, and just like, I was like, holy shit. And she was just like, but she was kind of like a little dead inside about it. But it was like, didn't really know him because there was such a big age difference. So she didn't really grow. And then drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. And like, it was kind of sad hearing her talk about, he went up to his mom. She worked at the hospital, and he went up to her and was like, you know, next time I see you, we'll be in heaven, and like talking all that stuff. Just like pretty rough, pretty sad. Like I said, man, it was just like a trauma drop. Everybody was talking about the worst parts of their life. And then I was just kind of like, I got to go to the gym now. And I was polite. I was just kind of like, hey, it was great talking to you guys. I'm going to get out of here. And then left. And I wanted to go to the Parthenon in Huntsville because it's a powerlifting gym. And I follow their page, and it looks pretty cool. It's too far away, which was interesting because I was in Madison. But like, it was just too far away.
If you've ever driven 2 miles in Madison, you know why it's too far away.
The traffic is awful, even at noon. So
especially at noon.
It's just like, it's crazy. I feel like any time except like very late in the evening or really early in the morning, it's just busy. Yeah. But anyway, I went to Phase 3, very cool gym. If you're in the Madison, Huntsville area, check out Phase 3. They've got a balcony area that has equipment on it. I didn't go there.
A mezzanine. Yeah, if it's like a half story, like a balcony situation, it's a mezzanine.
Okay. But yeah, it was like, it looked cool. I saw it as I was coming in. You can hear the music from the outside, and like I went in there, like huge bathroom the size of my house, like 2 saunas, 10 stalls, 10 showers. They got pools. They got 10 bench press racks, like a couple of squat racks. I think they got 3 or 4 like full cage squat racks.
Plenty of space, huh?
It was huge. It was very cool. Very cool gym. Weirdest part was I was like, I got enough time to take a shower, and they got like reasonably clean looking showers. So I'm going to take a shower. And I was like, hey, do you guys have a towel? And he was like, do you have towel service? And I was like, what the fuck is towel service? Like, I've never been asked this. And I was like, I just got a day pass, so I don't know. And he's like, here you go. And I was like, thanks. So very bougie if you decide to go there. It's probably fucking expensive to get a membership
I have a client that works out there, so
it's expensive.
I don't know. I mean, I have to talk to Grady. He's the one that works out there, but I think it's about the same as like Anytime, somewhere like that.
Like 35.
That doesn't mean that he has a towel service, but
towel service
that he
is $100.
Pays the same
right.
He would anywhere. But
the
aquatic center is expensive as shit now.
The aquatic center is expensive. They also section it off to where you can pay for what you want. If you don't want the pool access, you don't need it.
Fucking smart.
Yeah.
Probably shooting themselves in the foot for a little while. Imagine.
Maybe.
Before they split it up.
Before they split it up. Yeah.
But fuck it. I don't know. I've heard good things about Phase 3. Did they have calibrated plates and stuff?
In the corner they did, yeah. So where all the squat racks are, they had calibrated plates. I didn't use them because I wasn't doing anything serious. I was doing close grip incline, and I think I did like 255, I think is what I put on there. So nothing crazy.
Good.
Yep.
Show before the show stuff. Yeah, Zach's already drunk. We have a butterscotch old fashioned. It's fucking delicious. It's simple syrup of the brown sugar variety.
Mm-hmm.
Crown vanilla and butterscotch schnapps.
Chocolate bitters.
And chocolate bitters, yeah.
Chocolate bitters are very, I don't want to say powerful because it's not like, it doesn't overpower anything, but it
ties everything in very, very
it's
well.
a good binding.
It tastes like
flavor.
a fucking candy bar.
It does. It tastes like a chocolate caramel candy bar.
It would probably be preferable, honestly, to use a hotter whiskey and do this with, and not a flavored whiskey for like a more traditional old-fashioned flavor. But I mean, this is very drinkable and not hot. So,
yeah.
I mean,
you could very easily get drunk off this if that is your goal.
100%. I don't know what's wrong with me. But yeah, it's pretty fucking good. No coffee tonight because, well, it's late.
Yeah. We got a later start because I've got a really busy weekend.
But I do have a suggestion. We'll say it in the show before the show because it's,
This is the show before the show.
I know. We'll say it now.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying instead of in the episode because, we won't, we don't want to make sponsors look bad or anything like that. You know what I mean? But if you've been frequenting scooters, like we have suggested time and time again because they're a sponsor of the show and we love them, is really, really good if you get a cold brew and put Malibu rum in it. Just a pro tip if you're an alcoholic like I am.
I believe that. That's probably pretty dope.
I like a coconut flavored coffee. Like I've always liked cold brews that were like Almond Joy flavored or something. So
Almond Joy coffee creamer.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, fucking good.
It is good.
That's basically what you get. So
Malibu
rum.
Except spiked.
In your scooter's coffee. If you can't tell, we are no longer sober.
Not currently.
Not currently. Anyway, but we are no longer
abstinent
from alcohol.
I'll probably go back here in a month or so, but that's for prep reasons. So
yeah, things got to get serious for me here soon too. We talked about that today, so I'm happy with the things we talked about. So me and Ron were actually, he kind of messaged me out of nowhere, but me and him were on the exact same page about shit. So it's not like I don't feel like he just like blindsided me or anything.
Right.
It was a good, productive conversation, and it's always good when we end up on the same page.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
100%. But that's the show before the show.
I got one more little show before the show, small talk thing. I am currently wearing a pair of the Rascal squat jeans.
Do you approve?
I definitely approve. They are wonderful. They are the most comfortable pair of jeans.
What was the price tag?
So they were on sale when I got them for $50. So they are still cheaper than the I forget what the other brand is. That
Born Primitive is who I use like for jorts, but I don't have a full pair of jeans.
Right.
Barbell Apparel
I think it's Barbell Apparel. Theirs are usually like $80 to $100, I believe.
Yep.
So it's slightly cheaper. I haven't worn those before, so I can't like compare the two. But these are very stretchy. I don't feel like they're like every other pair of jeans I've ever owned. If I squat down in them, I feel like they're going to tear in the thighs or the crotch. I'm not worried about these at all.
Oh yeah. Well, for my clients that I absolutely roasted for working out in jeans and boots the other day, if you want to continue to do that, maybe you should look at some Rascal Apparel jeans.
And we aren't sponsored, but there are definitely athletes out there with codes. John Hack is one of them.
Rascal Apparel.
If you want to not only give John Hack your money from powerlifting, but also for jeans, actually it saves you money, but
yeah.
But he gets
taking over the fucking
so.
world. I wonder. I mean, I don't mean this as a slight because I think we're pretty proud of Kyle, and he's a hometown hero. We're always proud of Juwan. Juwan didn't have the day he wanted, but I wonder if Hack was just like kind of giggling about last weekend a little bit. Like, I mean, because he still, if he would have competed, he still would have beat the next best by like 50 dots points.
Yeah. Even if he had a bad day, maybe 20.
Now, honestly though, Juwan squats what he's supposed to squat and stuff like that. He wins.
Right.
We know that about Juwan. And I still hold to that Juwan's closing that gap faster than anybody.
Yeah.
But he's done, right?
He's done.
Didn't he just
untested.
announce that he's USAPL permanently now?
I think he just said IPF.
So he's
Powerlifting America, I believe. Yeah.
Which is a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
But also, PA is just so you can compete on the international stage more often. Like because it's governed by the IOC, it is an amateur event, and he's not going to get paid.
Yeah.
Which I get, though, because, I mean, Juwan's the best in the world.
Yeah.
He needs an opportunity to go prove he's the best in the world, and he is truly drug-free. So since he's already down that road,
right, might as well
go beat everybody's ass, and he's about to. I can't lie to you. He is going to put a fucking hurting on the fucking PA.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can't.
It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah,
he will probably
100%.
be the only person that I am interested in watching in Powerlifting America, to be honest. Well, Lane and Jesus, is he on there?
Jesus is USAPL as long as I remember.
Okay.
Yep. But I mean, Jesus is in it to get paid a little bit. So
Right, yeah.
I don't remember what Juwan does for a living. Maybe you do. You talk to him more often
I think
than
he just
do.
does personal training.
So
He has clients. That's all he does.
if he's making enough money, then maybe there's no reason. But I mean, he deserves to be seen on an international stage, and he's about to be.
Oh, yeah.
100%. I mean, doesn't get much bigger than American Pro.
Right.
But I mean, I think anybody that's ever competed in athletics kind of has a little bit of a hard on for the idea of having that USA banner on your singlet, right? So
I think
or whatever sport you compete in, but like
because American Pro is so new, I think IPF Worlds is still probably bigger.
Internationally, probably.
But
I bet American Pro is bigger
here
in
locally.
America. Yeah.
Maybe. I guess it just depends too. Like I feel like all the tested guys are just kind of like IPF Worlds is the biggest deal in the world.
In terms of people watching, maybe. But in terms of like internet clout, I still think non-tested meets are probably.
Yeah.
And it may be just because I just don't follow a lot of non-tested lifters either. I mean,
yeah, I don't.
Juwan definitely being the exception, but
he also competes multiple federations.
He's very, very, very good at all three lifts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but mostly when you watch drug tested, you're watching probably huge squats and deadlifts, and then like I don't want to see a 300-pound bench press.
Right.
And I know they're pros; they're much better than what I, than what I am. Don't get me wrong, but like, especially in the squat and deadlift, but like. It's a little fucking boring. Yeah. I mean, Juwan's going to press 500 plus, so we know that's
he's going to go over there and just break every record.
Oh, dude, he's about to fucking slaughter that. When I say that, I think he's going to like clean sweep records in whatever weight class he is. I think he's going to.
He'll just go in there bloated one day, light the other.
I don't think he's touchable in a tested federation.
Probably not.
Where was Hack at before he moved over to non-tested? Do we remember? His IPF numbers?
Was he touching on a 600 dots? Was that
back then? Would it have been dots or was
it would have been Wilkes? It would have been Wilkes. So
even for the IPF, they moved to dots before the rest of us, right?
Because John Hack has been
I've probably spent about half of my career both ways, Wilkes and dots.
Yeah,
but I feel like non-tested adapts slower to. Mm-hmm. You get IPF points though.
Yeah,
it's IPF points now.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
That's what it is. Not dots. Yep. So I don't even know those numbers.
Really
I don't keep
weird.
up with them.
It's really
like,
weird.
so I don't even know what good IPF points are. Like, couldn't fucking tell you.
Yep.
Don't plan on telling you.
No, it's not IPF points. It's good lifts, isn't it?
I thought it was IPF points.
Unless good lifts is US APL.
Maybe.
I don't know. I thought the IPF swapped to good lifts.
The only non-tested lifters I have are females,
right.
and they still compete PLU. So I
You
don't
mean
fucking-
tested?
The only tested,
Yeah.
my bad. Only tested I have are females. So I mean,
And they still compete PLU.
yeah. I mean, Steve competes both ways, but
Right. But
because he can,
Right.
Because
which
for
now
any
he
reason.
can, since PLU is basically what's it called? Mixed. You can sign up as whatever. So
Yeah.
I imagine it just depends on what the records are and what he wants to try and break.
yeah, for sure. I mean, at his age too, like
Yeah.
why not do both? Like,
Yeah.
he's never going to fail a drug test, so
Right.
he can compete either way. I mean, it's fine with me. So, how does that registration work? Can you just register both ways? Do we know?
Oh,
Like
you
the
mean
same way?
in the same meet? You probably have to pick a division. But I guess
I mean, because you can pick open and you can add open.
Yeah.
You know, you can add your age group to open. You
Yep.
can just do your age group. You can do push. You know, all that shit.
yeah.
So I didn't
think
know
when
how it worked with tested, non-tested.
I don't think you can do both at the same time. I don't think that's an option yet. That'd be weird.
I mean,
It puts you in the chance
that's a
of money
crossover
twice.
that should probably happen. I mean, because you have we just talked about a pro in Jawan that,
Yeah.
you know, lifetime natty and competes in non-tested events all the time. Like
Yeah.
it seems like it would be fair for him to be able to register.
Right, as both.
I mean, as long as you can pass a drug test, what the fuck does it matter?
I guess if
Fucking-
it's the
It's
same,
probably some fucking natty fucking dorkiness that we just fucking smug shit that, that just fucking gatekeeping. That's what
maybe I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I'll be honest. With the exception of Hack and Jawan and Jesus, drug tested lifting's. Well, I have, I think Ron's competed drug tested and stuff now, and he has a lot of people that do it too.
Mhm.
So, and those are my teammates. So I'm not gonna shit down drug testing completely, but it's a little bit more boring than non-tested. It's
Just-
a little bit
I
more
mean-
like golf clappy, where
Yeah.
we're like a little bit more
Rowdy.
rowdy.
It's more like a metal concert. It's like the difference between
It's like going to 3 Days Grace or going to see Behemoth.
Well, I was
Like,
I
mean, people are going to tell you it's the same, but it ain't the same.
I was gonna say more like a symphony compared to Behemoth or something like that, but
I don't know. That's not a good comparison. That's very much something Behemoth would probably do.
this is true.
You know
Let's
what I mean?
say a symphony and Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah, it's probably.
That's
I mean,
probably
it's very like wildly fucking different. Have you ever seen an IWF meet for like Olympic weightlifting? That's like,
golf clappy.
and I like coaching it because the sport itself is fun,
Mhm.
but the meet day is like
Weird.
fucking smug as fuck, dude. It's like the worst fucking groups of people you ever been around in your life. It's like all fucking they're steroid free, but they probably there's all a bunch of fucking frat boys that do CrossFit that
Mm-hmm.
probably drank a case of Miller and probably took a couple of caps of ecstasy the night before. you know what I mean? Like they're drug free, but they're not drug free. Let's be real. Like they're not performance enhancing drug. They're
Right.
performance enhancing drug free, but
Yeah. But they still
we're just like this. Yeah, fucking Sigma news of the fucking
of the
of the
straight
fucking
sports
lifting
community.
world. Yeah. Fucking dorks. I don't feel that way about that strongly about drug tested powerlifting, especially in our federation.
Right.
Like, you also have the extreme of that too, where you go like SPF or RPS, where it's like mostly like multiply, single ply guys, and they're like
Also smug.
they're also smug, but in a very white trash way. like they just want to take their trend and eat cheeseburgers and
Yep.
smoke cigarettes between attempts. That's
Yep.
what they want to do. Like it's wildly fucking different.
Let me try
dude.
and get in this bench shirt so I can bench 400 pounds.
Get tired and have to take a smoke break in between arms, like getting in your bench
Oh
shirt.
man.
Like, ugh.
Love
We've
you,
dumped
Zach.
on a lot of fucking
Marstiller.
things. Tell me I'm wrong.
I mean,
Have I said anything that was untrue?
not that I'm aware of, no. But also, we've only done like 2 SPF meets. I've only done 2 SPF.
I've been to a bunch of SPF meets. The thing, it's not the institution or the fucking organization. It's
just the
participants.
Yeah. Yep.
I will never forget Austin me and Austin absolutely getting ran out of the warm-up room because we weren't multiply.
Mm-hmm.
And then Austin turned around on a very, very bad day and dragging all the multiply guys' ass. Like, raw in fucking sleeves. Like, didn't even fucking wrap his knees and fucking drugged their ass. Like, I fucking can't stand multiply. Like, I really fucking hate it.
Well.
Like, single ply is kind of cool. We just had single ply world championships in the IPF, I think, was this weekend. Not relevant to me and you, which is the reason why I can't tell you who won or who didn't. Like,
yeah.
But I think that just happened this weekend. I think that happened today.
Maybe
last weekend.
There's a meet in Decatur today. Warrior Strong. No?
The PLU meet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about it.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it when I woke up and saw that it was going on. I watched it a little bit and then I turned it off.
If my lifters aren't registered,
yeah,
I'm not active. And if I'm not registered, my lifters aren't registered, I'm not actively keeping up with the calendar.
Yeah.
Like, I got too much going on to know PLU schedule. You know what I mean?
I legit didn't know it was a thing until I got a notification that they were live, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And like I said, I looked at it for a little bit, and then I went back to sleep, and then I got up, and I said something to Desi about it, and she's like, "Yeah, it was a bunch of tested lifters," so I turned it off, and I was like, "Oh, fair enough. I won't turn it on then." Tested,
especially on the state and local level, it's less so professionally. When I dumped on tested a while ago, I mean, it's definitely less so on that level, but like. Locally, like, you see these like dumb fucking squats and bench and deadlifts, and then like
just the tiniest bench press.
Dude fucking squats 650 and pulls 700, and then he benches 275.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
It was cool until it wasn't.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Like, those are some really good squats.
Dude, those are great squats. I can't wait to watch bench press.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Open attempts 242.
I think every tested enthusiast, I'll just say, always says bench is their least favorite to watch. And I'm like, no shit. Because it's boring.
Because you haven't seen a bench press over 350 pounds in years.
Yeah. Unless you're
watching IPF or USAPL,
right.
It's probably not fucking
good.
And it's probably going to have to be like, let's face it, being honest, it's going to have to be somebody super talented like Ron or another pro.
Right.
That is going to bench press something like that. Like, outside of that,
a good super heavy.
You have to fucking prepare yourself for
underwhelming bench press.
An underwhelming bench press performance. Yeah, absolutely. It'll probably go 3 for 3 though. Admittedly,
I don't know about that, man. Some of these people get stuck on like 250. So
Sandy competing. We used to compete in the USAPL a lot, and without me going into too much detail, because we really need to start this episode.
Yep.
I had a temporary ban from the USAPL because I had a cheating ass client that got fired that went and drug a bunch of people's ass and found out that he had been putting a needle in his butt.
Yep.
But anyway.
Pissed hot.
Huh?
Pissed hot.
Pissed hot, yep. That was not my fault.
Yep.
I ain't around, you know what I mean? Can't keep a needle out of their butt if, all you can do is take their word for it.
Yep.
So, anyway. Where was I going with this? Sandy used to compete USAPL all the time before my ban. And ironically, I got banned at my own meet that I was.
Yep. I remember that.
Which is even fucking worse. But I remember, like, Sandy's first USAPL meet, she's up there and doing pretty good because Sandy's pretty strong. And I remember watching some guys just like, and I'm thinking, the whole time they're squatting, I'm thinking, I am so far behind in this sport. I'm not where I thought I was or thought I would be until bench press. And I'm like, okay, this is the difference between drug tested and non-tested. We are witnessing this firsthand. And some of them still, especially sumo pullers, go and pull something big, fucking cool. But like, for the most part, they go squat something big, and then it kind of just fucking downhill the rest of the meet. Like, and energy, I don't care what anybody says, energy's different in those federations than that is. Say what you want to, but it's a different energy in the crowd, at least.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, I think there's different energy with the people. Honestly.
That natty for life fucking smugness.
Mm-hmm. I'm so good. Like, actually.
So I'm incredibly fucking average, but fuck. If the only thing I had to do to make up for being average was just be natty, then I fucking
Right.
if I needed that fucking crutch. I mean, I guess, who's got the crutch now? You just have excuses.
Yep.
Like, that's the difference between me and you.
I
all.
could if.
I'm bad and have tried it all, but you're bad and just use, the fact that you're a natty lifter as an excuse to be bad.
I can't recover from my workouts. Anyway.
There's the fucking type of people that tell you that creatine was bad for you.
The longest studied sports supplement of all time.
Less
It's
performance enhancing, dog. You can't take
You
it.
can't take that. Same people will
freaking-
tell you can't take nectar and iridescence. Ah, man.
Yeah,
you got to
I'm not
inject
gonna lie
that
to you.
shit.
If that shit works, I really like to combat smugness and tested organizations, strictly tested organizations again, because I really like who we compete with in the PLU.
Mm-hmm.
I really can't wait for natty lifters to start using that kind of stuff more often. And be like,
Like,
I mean, what
are
you got to test me for a vitamin? Like,
Yep.
look, you got to blood test me. Like,
Yep.
it might show up in my pee, but like, it's not banned.
Yep.
They're really going to ban baking soda and ATP
Yep.
and
Which is natural. Well, I mean,
naturally
Texas, too.
occurring, and choline and carnitine. Like,
You get from your diet.
fucking ban it.
Right.
Like, I mean,
You have excess carnitine and choline.
nobody will fucking compete in your Fed anymore.
Right.
Like, fuck. Like,
I don't think it's going to happen.
we
It's
know
been-
it works because I
Right.
mean we've had how many lifters on my roster test it. Like,
Yeah.
we know it works. It goes beyond you now. Like, fucking,
I know
they ain't testing for it. Like,
Heather was super stoked about it when she started trying nectar.
yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you be? Like,
She said it made her feel good. She was like, I remember she told me the first time she took it, she was like, I was expecting it to wear off in the middle
you
of the
gotta get
workout.
a banned substance list and make sure you can go order a pre-workout that's fucking 6 times worse for you, worse for your kidney function, worse for your liver function, dehydrates you, gives you a fucking headache, gets you too geeked. That's better than an injectable fucking vitamin. Fuck you.
But it's got a needle. We can't use needles and syringes in this sport. It's tested. Anyway, we should probably get the episode started.
Probably should. Hey guys, this is Sip It and Rip It podcast.
Yeah,
We got it right.
got it right.
Even with drinks in me, I got it right.
I was wondering.
You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram at Nathan Skedios, at Coleman_Barbell, at Sip It and Rip It. Listen to us on Spotify podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Leave us 5 stars. Leave us likes, comments, dislikes. Fuck, any traffic helps at this point.
Yep. Share it with
We
your
are
friends.
sponsored by Scooters Coffee that we love dearly. It's real good shit. Drink it every day, like literally every day. I drink Scooters Coffee. So
I don't drink it every day, but I did drink it like 3 or 4 days in a row at one point. And I also had their breakfast like a couple of days in a row. So still support the place. Don't worry about
Scooters,
that.
if you're listening, for us athletic people, we need a low fat breakfast option.
Yep.
Sell something with egg whites
Right?
because all your food's delicious. We like it. We've endorsed it 100%. We're behind it. Love Scooters. I will keep buying hundreds of dollars worth of coffee for you, thousands of dollars. Just give me an egg white option on the breakfast menu. But I think that's coming for everybody, right?
Probably, yeah.
Like,
I think most places are.
do you know who abandoned their healthy menu altogether?
Was it McDonald's?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You used to be able to get an egg white McMuffin and
Yep.
stuff like, all right, 3 of those, fucking 60 carbs, 35 grams of protein. Like,
Minimal
yeah, it's fast
fat.
food, but like, it fits.
Yeah.
I didn't overeat fat. Like, where the fuck did that go?
They said they probably were just like, it's not selling enough to make profit off of.
Dude, at least the coffee shops need it.
Yeah.
The coffee shop that we will not mention because
Right.
they're the enemy.
They're the enemy.
They have quality breakfast options. That being said,
And egg white options.
if you're a coffee drinker, when you get stuck on a coffee, you're stuck on a coffee, and I can't go back now.
Yeah.
For the longest, I had the hard time transitioning
The scooters.
to Scooters because, like, once you get used to a coffee, it's just what you drink. Like, I understand old people that are like Folgers every morning or Maxwell House every morning or whatever.
Right.
But like, cause like I'm on scooters now and that's just what I'm going to drink.
Right.
Like, I mean, it helps that, we're friends with them and,
Yeah, for sure.
they help us out with our coffee and stuff like that. But shit, like, once you like, that transition is too hard to make in my old age now. Like, I'm a fucking scooters drinker now. Can't go back. Can't do it again. We just need an egg white option.
Yep. That's it.
100%.
Just, they got those
The
little.
smoothies are still a good option.
Yeah.
A little bit higher fat, but like, they're still sub 20 fat for
Right.
a good protein and good carb count.
Yeah.
So.
If they did like those, I mean, they've got a bagel. They've got like an everything bagel. If they just did it with egg whites and like turkey bacon and like a lighter cheese,
Any white
perfect.
cheese, yeah,
be
absolutely.
perfect. Maybe not mozzarella.
Scooters were begging you.
Please.
Nah, it's got to be like,
Like
you gotta have to be Swiss or like a white American or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Provolone's good.
Provolone would be good. Yeah. That would kind of fit because I feel like their food's a little bit bougier than other
Yeah.
coffee places. Provolone would be good.
That's what for the longest time Jimmy John's would only use provolone. They've added a couple of options, but
Sandwich place, I'm going to have some pepper jack or cheddar as an option.
man, provolone on an Italian, man. That's,
I like provolone on a burger.
provolone on burger's good.
It's kind of overrated though. I'm about to piss a lot of people off. I think Swiss is a little overrated.
It's
Not
kinda,
strong enough of a flavor for me. Like I like a strong cheese.
It's kind of stinky to me. It's kind of a stinky cheese.
It tastes like, it doesn't always taste like card, but it depends on the like use of it. But
Right.
overrated on a burger for sure.
Yeah, I'm not a mushroom Swiss burger. I'm fine with.
Breakfast stuff, I definitely want like provolone or Swiss is okay, but not my favorite.
I'm okay
I
with
want
like a
provolone
mix.
or American or cheddar on a
Yeah.
breakfast sandwich.
I like a mixed cheddar. I buy this
Colby?
one. It's like, well, not Colby. It's like I can't remember. I think the brand's called Better Goods, and it's like a mixed aged cheddar, and it's like white cheddar and orange cheddar
I think it's unfortunate
and
that
Asiago.
we're at a place in America that McDonald's will ban, well, not ban, but will abandon a healthy menu because people just don't.
Don't want to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, like,
They'd rather buy.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, if I'm gonna go eat fast food, like, I can still get my fix eating something semi-healthy.
Right.
Like, if I go to Chick-fil-A, like, I actually like their grilled chicken sandwich, especially the one with bacon
Yeah,
and
that
cheese
one's
on
good.
it. Like,
The grilled chicken nuggets.
it's
are
a
good.
little high on fat, but it's still only like 15, 16 grams of fat.
Mhm.
Like, you can make up for that later in your day.
Yeah.
Like, you're not eating fucking fried chicken. Good for you.
Yep.
Like, they're not taking their shit off the menu. Like,
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
There's only so
But
many ways you can
it's
sell
not
chicken.
it's not. Well, I mean, it's not. It's not our fault. But
right.
like, America and their eating habits have gotten so fucking
Bad.
that it's just like, fuck it. We don't even want to sell healthy stuff.
Right.
You can't even fucking order a salad at McDonald's.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck?
They-
Not that I would, but
Right.
like,
They fully embrace we know we are shitty food and we are going to cater to people who want to eat shitty food.
that's 100% what they're doing.
It's-
Other brands are worse.
yeah.
Burger King.
I worked at Burger King for so long. I don't think I could eat there ever again.
Somebody tried to tell me their fries were better than Whataburgers and McDonald's, and I was like, who the fuck
Their
are you?
fries are not good. They're not good fries. They're fine, but they're not good.
If they're cooked correctly and like you get an individual fry, they're cool. But every time I've ever gone there, I pull one out and there's like three more
It's
attached
stuck
to it,
together. Yep.
and they're like undercooked in the middle because they got stuck together or some shit
Mm-hmm.
like that. Like, that sucks.
And I can tell you exactly what that is. They throw it in the basket and they dunk it and they leave it. And there's a timer that goes off. They're supposed to shake it. They don't shake it. They just leave it.
Oh yeah,
sitting there.
100%.
And it just
yeah.
all
I've
clumps
worked enough
together.
food jobs to know that's what's happening to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking sucks.
Their burgers, man. I don't know how many times that red light goes off and it's like time to discard, and I would just push that green button and it's like, good for 10 more minutes now. I don't know how many nasty ass burgers I served as a teenager.
I can't think of anything that more indigestion inducing than Burger King. Like, that's like,
I used to really love their fried chicken sandwich.
I just think. I mean, my point was, I just think it's a little sad that like you could go eat these restaurants and just simply make the decision to order grilled chicken sandwich over fried chicken sandwich. Still have your fries, get a Diet Coke instead of a sweet tea. Like, you've cut 500 calories from your diet and you're still getting to eat junk.
Right.
Like, it's like real simple. Like,
And funny enough, the cost of things now, like, you could just go to a sit down restaurant.
100%.
Almost, you could go to Cracker Barrel. For
I'll
the
tell you,
same price.
honest to God, real hack that's delicious. Go to a Mexican restaurant and order fucking chicken street tacos.
Yeah.
Corn tortillas, no fucking fat in them. They're going to use chicken breasts, no fucking fat in them. You're going to get some badass homemade sauce, some badass
Peppers.
tortilla that's made by somebody's grandma in the back. Like, doesn't have cheese on it. Like, pretty much fat-free lunch. Like, and you're going to eat there for fucking $12.
Yep.
Fucking maybe 20 after your tip if you're not a dirtbag. You tip like you're supposed to. But like
Fajitas, same thing.
yeah, absolutely.
Peppers, onions.
Sure, you got to stay out of the chips and dip, and you can't drink,
Right.
12 margaritas like I like to. But like, fuck,
Like there are options out there.
what's bad is like most of the shit tastes better because it's not fucking reused grease over and over and over and over again. Fried stuff's badass when it's like fresh grease and stuff like that, but like you're not getting that from a fast food restaurant. Like
They're trying to be as cost efficient as possible, so they will use that grease as many times as they can.
until it's fucking black.
Until it is black.
Yeah. And then like, I don't know, dude, it's as simple as ordering a chicken sandwich instead of a burger.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't even got to get a fucking grilled chicken sandwich. Like, it's that much better fat wise. Like, that much better for your. It's nuts to me. And I'm a fucking fat guy. I'm telling you this. But like, I promise you, for my problems, it's a volume thing and not a selection thing.
Right.
Fucking food volume is
I get that.
enormous.
Oh man. So what did you do in the gym this week?
It was deload week.
Boring.
It was needed.
Needed but boring.
Hard to say boring because everything felt like 1,000 pounds.
Mhm.
That's how you know that coach programmed a deload week at the right time.
Yep.
Because like, definitely very much needed it. Did not feel strong this week. My squat yesterday, I squatted sub 300 pounds because it was deload week, and it felt like I squatted 500 pounds. Like, same thing on both my presses, same thing on trap bar deadlift. Like, felt like fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like, but it's deload week, so nothing to write home about, nothing special.
Just recovery.
Just recovery. Yeah, adding a lot of cardio back in this next block. So I tried to get a jump on that and do a little bit more cardio this week. Diet's getting better. I'm low 280s now in the morning, so getting a little bit closer to my weight class. I need to lose. Honestly, I'd like to lose to about 10 pounds below my weight class so that I have earned a surplus for a little while. We've talked about that in other episodes. It's important that if you're cutting, if you have time to cut, that you try to get yourself to a point you can earn a surplus.
Yeah.
Because you need a surplus in prep.
Yeah.
So, but coming off of a performance enhancing dose, which I'm not too worried about because it wasn't very large anyway.
Yeah.
I was on 300 tests and about 70, 75 milligrams of tren. So moving back down to 200 tests, I don't think I'm going to feel that much different. I honestly think I'll probably be better. Tren was given to me. Took it because it was free.
Right.
I really think my health markers are going to get better and I'll feel better. So I think I'll ultimately perform better back on TRT. That's my week. So
my week, pretty basic. It was week 2, I think. Last week was, I think it was week 2. Yeah.
It was week 2. Yeah. Because last week would have been your first week back.
Yeah. Which was trash. Week 2 was better than last week. Deadlift, I think I hit 545 for sets of 6. My face kind of busted open. There's a lot of blood pressure in my face, and a pimple popped on the side of my face, and bled all over the platform.
I don't know what it is with bleeding, dude, but we've gone from like never bleeding to like
bleeding all the
everybody
time.
bleeds all the time. Like Chris caught another nosebleed on his, it was a deadlift AMRAP at like lightweight for him.
Yeah.
Like, now he did really good on it. Not taking
Yeah.
anything away from Chris. Chris is one of the baddest men I have. He's a badass. But like weight, very submaximal, not super difficult weight for Chris. Fucking caught a nosebleed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's badass, but like, it's not nosebleed weight. You know,
Right,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, and then like you got shit popping on your face. And like I've been catching, like I caught a nosebleed at the deadlift thing. Like I don't know what the fuck it is. All of a sudden we're just fucking free bleeding. I think mine, and honestly, is my blood's finally thin.
Yeah.
Because I've been, taking the right supplements and not overdoing gear and eating pretty
Yeah.
good. So like my blood's a little thinner and it's just like fucking
Easy to
free
flow.
flowing
Yeah.
now. But I had like a solid like 2 or 3 week problem where I was
Yeah.
like bleeding every time I was in the gym, like profusely, like
Mm-hmm.
take 20 minutes off of my workout to stop a nosebleed and then finish my workout with 2 fucking paper towels up my nose. But I really do think it's because my blood works better, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. I'm in the CPAP, got dry sinuses, like it makes sense. So
when I went and got my blood work done, they went over that. They said they did, for whatever reason, they didn't give me a copy of the actual like blood analysis, but they told me all my markers were improved. They were down to normal levels, so maybe that could be part of it. But anyway, I did that. Went well, felt really good, really happy about it because last week I could barely pull 495. Bench day, I think I hit 335 for sets of 8-ish, 8 or less, I think. Still haven't really caught quite back up on bench press. Still taking a little bit of time to get normal, I think. Squats, hit 445 for sets of 6, 5, and then 2 because something weird happened on my back. But I was actually scheduled or prescribed 435. So when I hit 445, and it moved pretty well, to be honest with you, I was really happy because I think that's, as weird as it is to say, I think that's a rep PR, 445 for 6. I don't think I've done that before. So everything's moving better. I had a fun day at phase 3 with my like bodybuilding stuff. So incline close grip with 255 for sets of 8-ish. Yeah, everything's been moving good. Taking a little extra recovery. So I'm taking some GHRP6 because I found it in the freezer and I was like, this is probably still good. So I reconstituted it and I've been taking a small dose of that every night. So recoveries should be going up a little bit extra. Just to get me through until probably 8 weeks out. I'll probably start taking an uptick on my test, but everything's pretty good so far.
And I don't think they know because we haven't discussed it. You're competing regionals.
Yeah, we mentioned it.
Last week.
Yeah, so I'll be doing regionals. Haven't decided as a 220 or a 242. I signed up as a 242, and I'll probably stay there. Mostly because my weight continues to go up instead of down. So I feel like I'm probably going to end up around 250 and water cut down to 242. So
I really want to earn that surplus, so I don't really want to have to water cut, to be completely honest with you.
I'm not afraid of the water cut. And actually,
I'm in water cut distance now.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I feel like I need the surplus more later than I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, I would really like to be in Austin's situation where I was like 265 and needing to eat versus, you know what I mean?
I get that.
It's just a preference.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I feel comfortable either way. I was actually talking to Zach Rodriguez about some things we might try, which is mostly just switching to keto the week of and just like no carbs. And then...
that's traditionally what... I don't know if you've done it before with me, but like what I typically do is not a real water cut. Like especially if it's just like, if it's 5 pounds or less... I go low carb, and then we do water load and water cut in a sense. But I don't mess around with the distilled water. I don't mess around with a laxative or like anything like that. It's like
it's going to depend.
Basically low carbs and a lot of water at the beginning of the week. It's all meat and greens basically.
Yep.
And then as we progress, the 2 days before weigh in, you get fruits back and high fat meats, and then at that point you're down to like half a gallon of water. You get 8 ounces the morning of, then you weigh in.
Yeah.
And that, honest to God, I mean, Mason cut 12 pounds that way.
Yeah.
Without even fucking with distilled water, without doing like the shit that's kind of miserable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like that yielded a pretty good result.
Yeah. It's probably going to be
now, what
something
I'll say
similar.
is his food requirements, especially for a bodybuilding show, is much, much less than yours is going to be for. So I don't know that you're going to get 12 pounds out of that.
Yeah.
But like the most extreme I've seen has been 12 pounds. And like, Elizabeth did it too. It was like 5 or 6 pounds of weight loss, and that's pretty fucking solid. And then I'm having a girl do it this week. She started today, so that's been. I mean, that came by. I got that from Elliot Hulse, and that works pretty good. But like, the low carb thing's an option if you have a few pounds to lose and not. Yeah, if you're in the double digit numbers, you probably don't need to fuck with that. You probably need to get a real water cut. But
well, I was thinking about doing both, like doing the actual water cut with just being on low carb and just not fasting the day of, unless it's going to depend on what the weight looks like and how much weight I got to lose. But
I understand the salt loading because that's gonna keep you in better shape later in the week.
Yep.
Or basically overloading electrolytes because when they get flushed, you're gonna fucking need them.
Yep.
But it's cool to be able to do it without having to go to extremes.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. I mean, I think next deload week. I think I'm going to experiment with a water cut. I don't know if I'm going to do Joe's prescription that we have, or if I'm going to do the Elliott Wholesway, which is basically low carb and a gradual decline in water.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do it just to see how I perform coming back in that Monday off the deload. But I also feel like maybe, especially after having seen you do it a couple times, I feel like maybe that's something that shouldn't be practiced. Like it shouldn't be something you do all the time, but you probably need a trial run.
Yeah. You need to know where you're going
sometime in the off season, so you know how you're going to feel, where you fucked up when it comes to, refeeding, rehydrating, stuff like that. Like, I feel like it would be a good experiment to run, to be honest with you. So,
at least once, just to know kind of where you're at and how you feel afterwards. Because
I'm very, very cautious of the idea, because I feel like I'm going to obviously feel like shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but I mean, if it's just, I might not feel the best I've ever felt.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done stuff like that before and been surprised at how good I felt, Not a water cut, but like talking about like the carnivore diet.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's good for athletes, but it reduced inflammation so much that it made me move better.
Yeah.
And because I felt better, I lifted better.
Yeah.
It really wasn't that I was stronger. It's just that I felt better, so I was able to express strength better.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I put like 60 pounds on my total the month that I did carnivore.
Yeah.
Like, I probably had that 60 pounds, but like,
you think about
I probably just didn't physically feel like it. You know what I mean?
If you had taken a week off and the inflammation
it would probably
had gone
been
down.
the same. Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
So like, I've had weird things work is all I'm saying. I just think I would like a trial run with a water cut before I
commit
to doing it,
Yep.
Also, I think it'd be smart to get an idea of how much I'm actually going to lose.
Yep. That's why I did it with Joe. There was no reason.
Like,
I was in my weight class, but I told him, I was like, I want to know what I can do and how I feel coming off of water.
I want if I'm 283 and need to cut 275, like, I probably don't want to weigh 265 coming out of the water cut. Being honest, like, I don't want to lose that much weight.
Yeah.
But like, if it's, if I could just, do a trial run or two and gauge it, like, it doesn't need to be this extreme, or it needs to be more extreme, or like whatever it may be. Like, I would kind of like to know, I think, because I've done it with a lot with clients, but I've never fucked with it myself, to be honest with you. So we'll see.
PR songs?
PR songs, yeah.
We've been on some tangents.
We have. It's the alcohol.
Yep. That's okay.
I have a lot of stuff coming way of Richard this week.
Okay.
He let me know about Inspect a Deck from Wu-Tang Clan, and Tom Hardy, which is Frankie Pulitzer, and Method Man from Wu-Tang Clan, have a single under the band name Czarface for the new Venom movie called Null and Void, and it's a pretty fucking cool rap song. So
that's cool.
You can definitely. Richard said he had a hard time figuring out who was Tom Hardy, and I was like, you can tell because he's a little spitty when he talks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, it's a pretty fucking cool song. So check it out. I haven't put rap on here in a long time, so we were overdue for a rap song.
That's fair. I'll go with No Knock by All That Remains. Kind of a.
Haven't gone All That Remains in a while. That's kind of a classic band.
It's pretty heavy actually for it being newer. All That Remains, and I say newer, I mean like maybe late 2010, maybe early 2020s. But it's heavy. It's good. It's kind of a. I mean, you know what a no knock raid is, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it's about. So
yeah, I like
lyrically kind of dark.
This is not an entry, but Stray from the Path always has music about killing cops, and I love their music.
Fair.
Their other music's a little bit more in a direction I don't necessarily lean, but I'm about that shit. I'm about the outlaw life. So Stray from the Path is cool. My second entry is Parasite by Throne, and that's THROWN, like you threw something. Yeah, you've thrown something. It's important because they may think I'm talking about, the fucking seat.
Yep, that is true.
But that song fucking rips. It's heavy as fuck. Typical, metal hardcore shit that I normally put on here. Much more your usual speed from something coming to me, from me. But it's fucking awesome. Listen to it.
I'll put Ballad of the Butcher by Last 10 Seconds of Life.
Oh, I love that band.
They're
That band's
very
fucking
good.
cool.
They're very they're like good hardcore, right? That's what I'd call them. Good hardcore.
I definitely would say they're like deathcore or something. They remind me a lot of
Deathcore.
Oceano for some reason.
That's fair. That's fair.
Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Vocally, they sound more like death metal than hardcore, but musically, I feel like they kind of lean into a little more hardcore-y kind of.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think a lot of like core bands, I mean, because of the nature of it being, core and not straight up metal, are definitely starting to lean that way. Hardcore is making a huge resurgence. So like everything's, all the big bands, all the good bands right now are a little bit more hardcore than they are metal, which kind of breaks my heart. But you have bands that can actually play their instruments, like Knocked Loose, like Last 10 Seconds of Life, like bands like that are actually good musicians, versus like the traditional way I think about hardcore. And I love Hatebreed, but like all that music's kind of fucking boneheaded.
It is
like,
very boneheaded.
It's all kind of the same fucking shit over and over and over again. Like it's cool and I love it, but like it's not music for musicians. You know,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's good gym music, but it's not a musician's genre.
I think
Like-
the best way to describe Hatebreed is that every album is like a different theme, but it's all the same song. If that makes
Right.
sense.
I mean, it feels like that sometimes, yeah. But like,
They have some.
Hatebreed's definitely a band I can put on in the gym and like listen to a whole playlist of nothing but
And just
Hatebreed
zone out.
and be cool with. So I'm not dumping on Hatebreed because I like boneheaded shit. Like I listen to Kublai Khan all the time. We know that. Like,
That's
but
like
it's
your
not
favorite
like,
to put on your reels. It's Kublai
yeah,
Khan.
I do that a lot. Fucking reels. I fucking love that band. But it's extremely fucking stupid and boneheaded.
Yeah.
It's not a musician's genre.
Yeah,
So
that's okay though. It's fun.
it's a lifter's genre,
Yeah.
not a musician's genre.
I don't know, man. Some lifters listen to fucking R&B and shit when they.
I mean, yeah,
Cool.
but like, I guess what I'm talking about is it's obviously meatheady. You know,
Right.
you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like very much so.
What was it that when we had Brooke Reynolds on here? What was hers? She had like Evanescence and
Yeah, absolutely.
something.
Good for her. She's an awesome person.
She is an awesome person.
100%.
And I even kind of almost pointed out a little bit how much you were holding back. Like I could see you smiling, like gritting your teeth, smiling. Like, I was like, you're trying really hard not to be like.
Just put some fucking Daughtry on this playlist next time.
Oh,
She was an awesome person.
She was
They're a great guest. Very, very serious topic. Not taking anything away from her. But
you had a great.
let it be
meet
known, if
recently,
you're a
too.
less nice person than Brooke and you put Evanescence on the playlist, you're probably getting fucking roasted. 100%. And just because they have, I'm going to put a third one on just because they have a new record coming out, I found out. I'm very excited about it. We're going to go Vor by Sleep Token, too.
Cool.
So, not Nathan's cup of tea.
Yeah, I've tried. You know, everyone talks about how good they are. I've tried listening to them a couple times. And I feel like I have the same problem with it as I have with Deftones, and it's that I just can't really like connect with it.
That's fair. They do a lot of things really well, and that's the reason why their reach is beyond metal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you got a bunch of metalheads thinking, "Oh, this is fucking cool." They have really, really, really good rap influence and stuff, which is, but not in a new metally like Limp Bizkit way.
Right.
Like it's done like tastefully. They do a bunch of things really, really well. And I would say that they're very much part of the musician's genre. Like it's very, very smart music. But not probably what you're going to listen to if you're like we are, and most of the time listening to like Cannibal Corpse or some shit like that. You know? So I like them a lot. I don't find myself working out to them often because it's not, to me, not really workout music.
Yeah.
But you know, we've been over this. I want metal or hardcore or rap, and somebody's got to be fucking dying. with
Right.
lyrics. Like,
Has-
so
it
it's
just
got-
has, for me, it's just like it just has to be very intense and very up. Like that's what I'm looking for.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
So, meat and potatoes of the day, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, because we're talking about meat and potatoes, literally.
Essentially,
Yeah.
eating through the holidays.
Yeah, we're probably the least qualified people ever to tell you about eating through the
Well,
holidays. I have a lot of very quality advice to give.
I was going to
actually.
say, I think we've got
just because we
good-
don't live by it.
right. I mean, I think let me just start by saying how I kind of do things, honestly, because like the truth is, I don't do a lot of holidays. Never grow up doing them, so like I don't really do a lot of holidays, but when I do, typically you just have to kind of know, for me, like, what am I going into? Like, what are they going to be serving, like, for these holiday meals and stuff like that? Is it going to be the standard? Is it going to be, potatoes, green beans,
turkey and dressing,
ham? Like, what is it going to be? How can I kind of navigate this and kind of be like, okay, well, even if the only thing they have is green bean casserole and that's the only green that I've got, it's still a green. So I'm going to take that and I'm like, okay, I know there's going to be a ton of fat in this.
Sure.
Where can I cut fats out, either in the portions that I'm doing or what the rest of my day?
Sure.
So I live almost all of my life by the 80-20 rule. Eat 80% healthy and 20% you can have fun. I feel like I stay relatively in good shape. I'm not shredded. I'm not ripped. I'm also not like the most jacked dude. But
he's not fat either.
I'm not fat. I've never been a fat person. I don't think I've ever been above like 19% body fat. I think that's the most I've ever been. So like, I just try and make sure that everything around it is going to be healthier. If I know I'm going to go in and let's say I know there's going to be like some really good food. Let's just call, grandma's apple pie is going to be there. You got to get a slice of grandma's apple pie.
Yeah.
It's the best. It's the best. It's your comfort food or whatever. Just kind of like think about that and be like, okay, well, where can I make room for that?
Sure.
Like, where can I cut from in the morning? Can I like maybe skip a meal and just count this as 2 meals? I know, and even think about this. If you know your fat's going to be high, if it's not a training day, that's going to be okay.
Yeah.
If you're training that day, you do want your fats to be lower. So maybe reschedule your workouts and be like, I normally lift on this day, but since there's going to be a holiday meal, I'm going to have my higher fat day be this day. And I'm going to lift on this other day to make up for it. And you'll probably feel really good, honestly.
Sure.
What else would I say as far as that? Other than just like being that asshole that brings Tupperware, you can be that asshole that brings Tupperware, and that's totally fine. You will have to have awkward conversations and explain to everyone why you have your own Tupperware.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's simpler than that too, though. I mean, I think your approach is good.
Yeah.
If you want to be, that's probably more pertinent to like a bodybuilding perspective. Yeah. I would think like you really don't want to like get back in bad habits. Like sugar is addictive. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Oh, 100%.
100%. I believe it's an addictive thing. Like, so if you're in the middle of, if you're in the middle of a bodybuilding prep, you probably don't need to go load up on sweet potato casserole and pecan pie and, fucking derail yourself because, that first of all, that bloat's real. And second of all, you are going over budget on calories, like, right, 100%. Like, don't fucking need it. Like, you might even perform well in the gym the next day because you had it, but, like, when, like, body composition is the goal, like, you might need to be the Tupperware asshole.
Yeah.
That would probably be the most extreme example, I think. Like, bodybuilding prep.
Yeah.
Us as powerlifters, you know how I feel about it. I feel like we should be aware of body composition, and the better our body composition is within our weight class, the better of a powerlifter we are. That being said, the approach I would take is if you're not training that morning, I will be training that morning of Thanksgiving because we're on a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday schedule. But if you're not training that morning, skip breakfast or do a liquid breakfast, protein shake, plenty of water, stuff like that. If you're like my family, it'll be a 2-meal day. I'll eat lunch somewhere and I'll eat dinner somewhere else. I'm going to say 1 plate, 1 dessert of your choosing. And when you make your plate, it needs to be, if you're trying to be conscious of what you're eating, it needs to be protein heavy.
Yep.
So the fortunate thing about Thanksgiving in particular is we're getting low fat meats because we're doing ham, which is surprisingly low fat, and we're doing turkey breast, which is
obviously
low fat, right? So with the exception of maybe like a deep fried turkey, but that's still going to be substantially less fat than red meat.
Right.
So, I would say overeat turkey, ham, whatever it is your preference is, a little bit of both, whatever it may be. Load your plate up the first time. Whatever you want, sides, whatever they look like, whatever your preferences are, load it up the first time, eat 1 plate, get 1 piece of dessert, be done.
Yeah. I think
But
that's
like
pretty.
if we're like 50% of your plate is protein, and then you get a little bit of everything you want.
Mhm.
Is it the best case scenario? Is this a normal, day prescription? Fuck no. Like, we're not doing this. You know what I mean? Like the slice of cake I just told you could eat is probably 1,000 calories. Like,
Right.
So this is not an everyday protocol, but like go enjoy it, eat the things you want to eat. Don't be a 2-plate, 3-plate asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Load it up with what you want. Make sure 50% of your plate's protein. Fill up on that. Start there.
Right.
Eat that first.
Mm-hmm.
Finish your plate. If you want dessert, go get one slice. Be done, and make sure you drink plenty of water along the way because that's going to help fill you
Yeah.
up, right? Another thing too, take your time, enjoy it, eat slow.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That helps your digestion.
it
Too.
helps your digestion, but it's also going to make you aware of the fact that you're
Eating a ton of food.
and that you're probably actually fuller a lot faster than you normally would be. Eat slow, load up. Like I said, 50% of your plate needs to be protein. Eat whatever else you want.
Yep.
Have your dessert. Be done after one.
Yep. I think that's a pretty good way of looking at it.
I mean-
that was the one thing that I was forgetting is like primarily making protein your goal.
Yeah, no, protein's plentiful at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You got deviled eggs, you got ham, you got turkey. Like you have all these things that are, carbs are plentiful. The problem is that they're accompanied by a ton of fat.
Yeah.
But like, make protein the priority. Eat what you want after.
Mhm.
Make sure you get your water drink, your protein ate. After that, finish your plate, eat your dessert, be done.
Another thing, because family sometimes isn't the most health conscious, they might be bringing sodas, they might be bringing a lot of sweet tea, especially in the South. Sweet
I don't
tea.
personally have a problem with that because I'm probably drinking a diet soda and I'm drinking water.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
like, you may want to pack your own like 0-calorie soda.
sure,
There's gonna be water because
Yeah.
most people will have like a case of waters.
Yeah.
If they don't, bring a hydro jug, bring a couple bottles, whatever.
Focusing on that gallon a day is going to help with suppress appetite anyway.
Yeah.
Like you're just not going to have this much space
Right.
for food. So like, if you get up, do the liquid breakfast like I talked about, protein shake, plenty of water, and then you're drinking water along the way. You're drinking water when you get there. You're drinking water through your meal. Even if you have a diet soda, not a big deal. But like, be conscious of finding where full's at, I guess
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, eat slow, fill up on protein, make sure your water gets drank. And then even if you do it again at dinner, like I'm going to have to, and absolutely will, the same process repeats, minimum damage done. And here's the hardest part about holidays in the South. When Granny tells you, I'm going to load you up with a bunch of leftovers to take home with you,
Yep.
say no. You're going to have to hurt Grandma's feelings. But like you can't let one day, I just said eat whatever you want. That's
Right.
pretty fucking lenient from a personal trainer.
Right.
Okay. But you can't let one day turn into the next
Multiple
4 or 5
days.
days.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that's dog shit. Like my family is going to have more desserts than we will eat. I know that. We're going to have 2 pecan pies, 2 pumpkin pies, a cake or 2. Probably like finger foods that are sweets,
Yep.
stuff like that. You ain't got to take it home.
Yep.
Pick one, be done. Like Thanksgiving, I'm going pecan pie.
Chocolate or regular?
I like them both. Whatever's there available,
Okay.
it's fine with me. Chocolate pecan pie is ridiculous.
Chocolate pecan pie. Probably the
It's
best.
fucking ridiculous. Amazing. But just be aware of how you load your plate,
Mm-hmm.
and then your your hydration intake for the day, because it's going to help a whole lot.
Yeah.
Like,
And let's say, you do like a protein shake with water. Let's say you do 2 scoops. That's probably going to be like a couple hundred calories, depending on what you're
that's
using.
probably 50 grams of protein.
Yeah. So you've already hit like your protein goal for a meal at 50 grams of protein, depending on your size, obviously, but we're just going to say.
Yeah. I mean, you eat 3 or 4 of those, you're probably hitting pretty close to it.
Yeah. So, that's a good meal, very low calorie. Now you've got this plate that's probably going to be what? But we'll just go ahead and say between that and the dessert, probably going to be anywhere between 2,000, 2,500 calories in this meal.
Legitimately.
Yeah, legit. Maybe more or less, depending on how big you are, how much you eat, how much you stack your plate.
How much you're aware of what I talked about,
Right.
how you make your plate.
Yep. But we're just going to legitimately say 2 to 2,500. You eat one more time, about 500, 1,000 calories, let's say. You've pretty much just ate a normal day in
Yeah.
total volume of calories while not avoiding your protein. Now, your second meal or third, however you want to look at it, of the day does need to be high in protein.
Yep.
But like you really hit most of the markers that you want without sacrificing the enjoyment of, the family meal and stuff
Sure.
like that.
100%. Yeah, I mean, like if you're in a situation like me, there's going to be multiple families on the same day. You're going to 2. Just repeat the process. Second one probably should be a little bit lighter, if I'm being honest with you. Pick the dessert that you didn't have at the first meal.
Yep.
Whatever you missed, like probably needs to be a little bit more protein heavy still.
Yeah.
I would say if we could. But after a meal like that, you shouldn't just be ravenously hungry going into dinner. I mean, let's be honest. Underrated thing on Thanksgiving though, a lot of people play games, play sports and stuff. Football happens a lot. You got Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving games on. Detroit will play. Whoever else will play. Fuck, I don't remember. Detroit plays every Thanksgiving, but
Redskins?
Cowboys play a lot on Thanksgiving. So
it used to be Cowboys, Redskins. Yep.
Cowboys and Detroit for sure played, and whoever they played was different. But got the football game on. Typically, you get you have a handful of people outside throwing a football, something like that. Go out and participate. Get off your ass.
Yeah,
Don't sit around the house.
Just move around a little.
Just move around a little bit. If you're like me and you would have trained in the morning, you might not feel like doing that. But like getting up and moving and not just being a fucking couch potato the whole holiday, probably a really fucking good option.
Yep.
Help mom clean the kitchen.
Right.
Like get up off your ass pretty much. Like Thanksgiving's fortunate because it is kind of not on purpose. It's just because of tradition. It is kind of a sports centric holiday.
Yeah.
We will have, we'll have the Iron Bowl that weekend. You'll have NFL on the day of. Like, it's kind of, would be helpful to participate in those things, So, but I mean, there's not I don't want anybody to be miserable. You know what I mean? Like, you hope you live a healthy enough life that you don't have to take away from things like this. A problem that a lot of people that I have, that a lot of other people are going to have on holidays is we drink. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to drink at Sandy's parents, but at my parents, my mom and stepdad, I will make a wild turkey like Thanksgiving punch that I make every year. We'll drink it and we'll drink a lot of it. That needs to be accounted for both in your water and your calorie consumption. Mm-hmm. Later in the day. And I'm not saying don't participate in like I said before, I'm not saying not to participate in a Thanksgiving meal, but like if you're going to have 5 or 6 drinks, maybe you need to skip at least one serving of sweet potato casserole or something like that. Like try to be intelligent about it. And again, we want a gallon of water or more a day. Somebody like me or you probably need a gallon and a half a day. On a day that we're going to drink, probably need closer to 2. So that's going to it'll eat away from how much food you can have at that, that last meal too. So like, be conscious of alcohol. Mm-hmm. I mean, Thanksgiving and Christmas are drinking holidays for me. Mm-hmm. So like, you're going to have to account for that. Responsibly, you should be accounting for that. I haven't in years past, but I mean, it's very easy to gain 10, 15 pounds in the holiday season.
Yeah.
Very easy.
I think lots of people say, there's like studies shown that they gain the weight during the holiday season, but the problem isn't the weight gain during the holiday season. It's the fact that it never comes back off. Yeah. So it just keeps impacting.
We were talking about easily. Sandy's dad's a beanpole, skinny man. Mm-hmm. He's gonna put some weight on there in the holidays.
Right.
He's 3 or 4 plate guy. Like he's going back. He's gonna have a piece of everything.
Yep.
Of the things he likes, he's gonna have multiple things. Like you don't have to, especially if you're in an athletic position like we are, you don't have to look at it that way. Mm-hmm. And I really do feel like the biggest key is overeating protein and overhydrating.
Yeah.
Don't give yourself the option. You know what I mean? Like, or limit the options, how much you're gonna be able to tolerate. Also, I mean, these holidays are a very rare opportunity that very, very, very seldom is the meat on your plate the lowest calorie thing on your plate.
Right.
Like, so I would probably take advantage of that. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're training that Friday after Thanksgiving, maybe consider a carb heavier dinner and less carbs at lunch. Mm-hmm. Whatever it may be, take advantage of it. And again, if you're drinking, you don't need to drink so much that's going to negatively impact Friday morning session.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, everybody celebrates different. There's a lot that goes into this. Mm-hmm. And I think the unfortunate thing is that Thanksgiving, a lot of families, mine won't, but a lot of families are going to celebrate Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah.
They have this person's house to be on Thursday, this person's house to go to on Friday. Going to go Black Friday shopping with their family or friends on Friday. They're probably going to eat out somewhere. Like Saturday, you got another dinner to go to. Sunday, Granny's cooking the whole spread. You got to do it again. Like, that's a little bit miserable. I think at some point, you know, if it extends beyond the main day, you probably need to be conscious of that, and maybe you do need to be the Tupperware asshole for a couple of those get-togethers.
Right.
Like, nature of the beast, right?
Yeah.
But
I think it really boils down to it's either got to be that or you just have to be selective in what you eat. Like, it's okay. I feel like, you know, if you're going to go in there and be like, all right, maybe by the grace of God, somebody cooks some green beans that's not green bean casserole.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm going to eat these green beans, ham or turkey, and mashed potatoes. That's not really that far off of a regular meal.
no,
You know,
you got
the
a little
mashed-
bit too much fat in the mashed potatoes, but it's coming out of the turkey because,
Right.
like, most of us are going to eat a higher fat meat.
Yep.
You know what I mean? In prep than
Right.
than turkey. You know what I mean? Like, I'm on chicken thighs and salmon right now,
Yeah.
so like a lot more fat in that than there's in turkey breast. Like, perfectly reasonable trade.
Yeah.
Really hard to stay out of desserts on Thanksgiving.
It is.
you know,
It
what
is.
I mean? Like, that's kind of the
But even so,
that's
like,
it. Like, that's that's what we're here for. You know,
Right.
but I
even
mean,
so, like, if you eat a fairly normal meal and then you have a dessert, just take the fat in it's going to be kind of hard to like pull away from somewhere else, especially if you're on a typical low fat, high protein, high carb. But try and just pull those carbs away from somewhere else. Just be like, all right, I know I'm going to eat tons of carbs in this. I'm not going to have the best carbs, but like,
I have another underrated method, and the men that listen to the show are going to plug their ears because they probably don't want to have to do this because, you know, the weeks leading up to it is all cooking for Thanksgiving. If you got a really big problem with it and you're really, really staunch on your diet and really don't want to like participate, bring a dish.
yeah, that's
Take care of
true.
yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you bring it if you don't want to be the Tupperware asshole, but know you gotta eat a certain way, make something for everybody.
Yep,
You know what I mean? Like,
that's super
participate.
easy.
Be the guy responsible for the turkey. You know, make your own dressing. Make sure it's low fat, whatever it may be. Like, whatever method you choose to go with. Like,
You be the one that brings the green beans.
yeah,
Like,
whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you can take care of yourself a little bit. You know, like you don't have to expect mom to cook you a low fat dinner on Thanksgiving when she's cooking, you know, the full spread for everybody else. Like, you know,
Ask too.
Yeah,
Find out,
I mean-
like, hey, what are you cooking? Like,
Yeah.
what do you know what everybody else is bringing? Who's bringing food?
sure.
Start asking questions. Then you can already start mapping out, okay, I know what all this is coming. What can I bring to, like,
I can eat my body weight in deviled eggs.
Right.
I can eat deviled. I mean, it's a little high in fat, but I'll eat fucking deviled eggs and ham. Not a
Yeah.
turkey guy. Turkey fucking sucks.
turkey is not the best.
But you know, I'm gonna have my dressing. I'm gonna have my sweet potato casserole too. But like everything else, aside from pecan pie, kind of an afterthought to be honest
Right.
with you. Like,
Yeah. I'm like, for me, it's really like green bean casserole, sweet potato casserole, mashed potatoes, ham.
yeah, I mean,
Dressings, hit or miss.
yeah,
I can do
probably
dressing.
depends on who cooks it.
Yep.
Yeah,
100%. If it's like dry and crummy and like, no, I don't want that shit.
no, you need that fucking cakey shit.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, butter comes out in the fucking spoon and you put it in your plate. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm one of those weirdos that actually like giblet gravy. You know, the gravy that all the organ meat in it and
Yeah.
the eggs and stuff. Like, so I'm probably doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? On top of my dressing and shit. But like, I mean, you can absolutely do it. It's not easy though.
Yeah.
I mean,
There are just a lot of different avenues that you can take. It's
probably
just-
the most practical way to do it is the week of and the week after. Plan on eating truly low carb, like borderline keto on rest days.
Yeah.
Prepare for the calorie surplus.
Yeah. Just pull everything away during the week. Let's
Come in a little light, leave a little heavy, with the intentions of going in a little light the week after. Like,
Well, I
you know,
mean,
pull it from somewhere else.
maybe not even necessarily the week after. If you think about it like this, like you can, if you know,
The average is 8 pounds, by the way.
of weight gain.
So if you could theoretically lose 8 pounds going in,
Right. I mean, let's just say the week of, at normal 3,500 calorie diet, we'll just say, you pull back to 3,000 for the week except for Thanksgiving. You've just given yourself what?
That's 3,500 calories.
Right.
500 a day. So
that's it. So that gives you a full day's worth of eating on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
so if you eat twice as much as normal, at the end of the week, your calorie total is going to be the same as it normally would have been. So like there are options you can do. I think
100%.
the big thing is most people don't think about doing it until they're sitting there with a plate of food.
And they're like, oh, fuck, I'm going
Right.
to gain 10 pounds this
Like,
week.
oh man, what am I going to do about it?
I'm going to have to call Zach on Monday and give him all my money.
I just think that if you have a plan before you get into that position, you're just going to come out better.
Yeah, being honest, though, and I think most of our listeners are health conscious to a degree. But like, if you're listening to the show and you're not super health conscious, it probably doesn't dawn on you until you're in the middle of it.
Right.
Like, it's not a problem until
you're,
it's a problem. You
until
know what
you're
I mean?
3 plates deep, and then you're thinking about dessert, and you're like,
we all
fuck.
have weight classes to meet. Like, there's a stipulation for us, like, all the time. Like, if I don't compete at 275, I have to compete at 308, and I don't want to compete at 308 because I'm not strong enough for 308 yet. Like there's always like a little bit of outside pressure to kind of keep us on the straight and narrow. Like, whereas like most people aren't going to fucking.
They don't have that.
Most people are going to load up on their Chick-fil-A going in, fucking go eat Thanksgiving, eat all their leftovers, and then the week after they're back, back on their Chick-fil-A.
Yep.
I mean,
probably feeling a little miserable.
yeah, absolutely. And then they wonder why I haven't changed anything about my diet. Why have
I gained so much weight?
No, because you've ate fucking 7,000 calories a day for 4 to 5 days in a row. That's sorry.
Right.
Like, that's what happens. So I think that in a sense, at least like intellectually, we're a little bit advantaged because at least we know what we're doing to ourselves. Like, people that don't know don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I wish this was, and this is one of the more frustrating things about coaching, is I wish that this knowledge was as commonplace as it sounds. Because you can take any Joe Blow off the street and they have an opinion about a diet, but they're not really aware of a diet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've never done what we've done and actually logged and tracked. Like,
They've
they'll
read a
tell
bunch
you,
of
hey,
stuff on
I hear
Reddit.
carbs are bad, like we need to stay off carbs, or, I hear, fat will give you a heart attack. So, you need to eat low fat, whatever, whatever opinion. You're going to find somebody that has an opinion about diet.
Yeah.
Red 40 will give you migraines and make your kids autistic. Like, you're aware of that, or you think you're aware of that,
Right.
But you're not aware that 7,000 calories on Thanksgiving is going to put fat in your ass.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. You know what I mean? But like, seriously though, people aren't as aware, or maybe they just don't care.
Right.
There's a little bit of I don't care. And now that we're in the Ozempic phase of things, they're like, we'll just start Ozempic the week after after Thanksgiving or the week before, where
What's really funny to me about the Ozempic craze is that it's not something that just makes you lose weight. It just doesn't trigger your hunger signals.
Right.
So you just don't feel like it. You can take Ozempic and gain weight if you just stuff your face regardless of feeling hungry or not.
100%.
So that's why I always laugh when people talk about Ozempic, and I'm like, it's a great tool for people who have the mindset to be like, I'm not going to eat.
Think about 100 years of fucking bodybuilders using insulin, powerlifters using insulin to help improve their body composition and stuff like that. That's basically what this stuff is. It's like some synthetic version. It either manipulates it or acts on it or replaces it, or all these drugs do something in that realm. Right?
Yeah.
Like, fuck, it's been here, dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, it has. It's been, it's been here. Like, people have been taking metformin for years, shit like that. It's less strong, but but that's not the way you want to go.
Right.
Like, and people I hear Dr. Mike talking about, he's been on the Ozempic trend a lot. Like, perfectly fine tool.
Yep.
Still can't eat like an asshole.
Yep.
And if you don't actively try to stop eating like an asshole when you come off Ozempic, you're going to go right back to eating like an asshole. If you ate like an asshole the whole time on Ozempic, but you lost weight because you were only eating twice a day instead of 4 times a day, you're going to go right back to eating like an asshole.
Yep.
Like,
because it doesn't.
I mean,
it doesn't stop you from like being hungry in the sense that like when you come off, it doesn't change anything about your habits.
no, absolutely not. So I mean, like, if you're not going to take the time while you're on it to develop good habits,
Doesn't do
probably
you good.
pissing in the wind.
Yeah.
Like, and this stuff's like
Expensive.
it's expensive as fuck, but it's also being used by people that would absolutely shit down our necks if they found out that we use testosterone.
Right. That's pretty funny, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's extremely funny. We're cheating.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Okay.
Whatever. Like, I mean,
maybe
glad you think we're cheating.
Maybe you just need to take some too, and then you'd have
100%,
it's
the same idea. Yeah. I mean, we're doing it to get big and strong. You're doing it to lose weight. Like, I think there's a very, very fucking big gap and what people think they know and what they actually know. And I admit that about myself. Listen, dude, like if you're a personal trainer and aren't actively trying to learn every day, ain't actively trying to get better every day, and the larger that gap grows for you, the more full of fucking shit you are. The worse of a trainer you are. Doesn't matter how many clients you have or anything like that. Like I've seen really, really successful clients that were not clients, really, really successful trainers that were actually fucking horseshit trainers. Like if you're not actively trying to grow, you're ethically doing your clients a disservice. So if you're in the field and you're not trying to get better at that, that's fucking egregious. But like, your clients, people around you, stuff like that, they have no ethical or moral obligation like I do to learn more. Like they're going to have their opinions because they think that they're entitled to them, and they probably are. But like I said, those are people that are not actively trying to bridge the gap between what they think they know and what is actually happening. Yeah. So like there's a whole lot of fucking cognitive dissonance between the two, and it's like really, really hard to get through to people about things. It's hard for them to get through themselves. There's a lot of conflicting information about things. Like
that's why you gotta vet your sources.
100%. And that's the reason why I like Dr. Lane so much, even though he's an absolute fucking dickbag online. But I mean, you can't do anything but respect the man because he only wants to tell you what science says.
Right.
No bias. He has come out and said, I don't like this, but this is what. I mean, he's done that 1,000 times.
He's
come
also
out and said something. Hey,
wrong.
Man, this was surprising to me, and I was wrong about this. Here's the data that proves it. Like, but still, you'll see people in his comment sections that say, "Oh, that study was funded by so and so, so it's horse shit," or that product has Red 40 in it, or I know you're wrong about aspartame because it gives me migraines.
Yeah.
Like.
That was the latest one, wasn't it? Aspartame.
I mean, it might be. I don't know. I was just,
No, I remember
him
saying something about that, and then there was like he was talking about 0-calorie sweeteners. No, maybe it was Dr. Mike. That's talking about migraines. And it's like that is true for a very small portion of people, but for the rest of everybody else in the world, you don't have to.
Lane says it all the time. Dr. Mike said it a bunch. The dose makes the poison.
Yep.
Oxygen is bad for you in the wrong dosage.
Yep.
It kills divers all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty frequent diving accident, right? Like you can overhydrate if you don't have enough electrolytes. Water, the most essential thing to human function, is dangerous for you in the wrong context and the wrong dosage. Like you can find something wrong with everything. And another thing people have a hard time with, everything's a fucking chemical. This fucking wooden table is made out of chemicals. Water is a literal fucking chemical.
Yep.
Aspartame is a chemical. Like everything, if you're you cannot eat or drink chemical free because you wouldn't eat or drink.
Yep.
Like that's just the way it is, right? But there's so much of a gap between, like I said, what people think they know and what is actually happening. And it's kind of a little bit sad because we're going into the holidays, and I'm going to be grateful for it from a monetary standpoint, but like you're going to have people come to me like, hey man, I gained 20 pounds on the holidays. We got to get it off. Like January 1's going to come around. I'm going to have 100 people hit me up.
Yep.
Hey, how do I get this weight off? What do I do? This stuff like that. And like, maybe they didn't know they could diet in and diet out to get rid of it. Maybe they knew and didn't care. Maybe,
maybe it's a problem for future me.
Maybe that's their attitude, or maybe they did exactly what they thought a diet would do for them all the way through the holidays and did perfectly fine, and they were misguided and had bad information.
Yeah.
It's the problem. I have seen it used to success, the keto and carnivore diet, but what people in those realms will not fucking tell you is that fat is the easiest thing to overeat.
Yep.
You can go into this holiday season and only eat meat You can, eat all the fatty things, stay out of all the desserts, all the carbs, stuff like that. And if you overeat, you overeat.
Yep.
Sorry. But I wish that I could tell you only eating meat was going to make you skinny.
Right.
But it actually doesn't work that
Yeah.
way. I mean, like somebody will tell somebody, hey, just eat low carb all holiday. You like your grandma's turkey? Fucking eat 6 pounds of turkey. You'll be all right. Fucking 3,500 calories, son. Don't fucking matter. You know what I mean? Like, and I think but there's so much misinformation. Day-to-day life is hard. Like getting clients to eat correctly, convincing them that food's not the enemy. The dosage is the poison. Like those kind of things. It's incredibly hard to get people to do that kind of stuff. And now you're going to try to tell them that they can't eat grandma's sweet potato casserole and can't do this and can't do that. And there is a degree. It's underrated. It doesn't get talked about enough. There is a degree of stress related to, like, your grandma wants you to eat those things.
Yep.
She spent fucking 2 days cooking it all.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, she wants to see you enjoy it and participate. And enjoying it and participating is not the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do it to the tune of, 6 or 7 servings in a meal. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's it's really, really hard. But I think the general problem is a lack of awareness.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
I mean, it's sad. And, like, even if you are aware, now that we have options like Ozempic, which, again, not a bad option. I'm not fucking shitting on it. But, like, people really do have the mindset of, like, I'll go to the doctor on the Monday after. We'll get on something. Help me out. I'll lose the weight. Be better by Christmas.
Do it all over again.
Christmas, we've spent all of our time talking about Thanksgiving. Christmas is its own unique brand of hard because not everybody's traditions are the same on Christmas. Like, pretty much universally around America, we're all doing the same shit on Thanksgiving. We're eating turkey and watching football. Like, and a shit ton of desserts, right? Everybody's Christmas traditions are different. Like, I've been to households that have the same meal they do on Thanksgiving, and they might do, on the South, it's very popular to do the same meal on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter. Yeah. You get turkey and dressing, sweet potato casserole, that whole fucking spread. But, like, Christmas in particular, like, my family doesn't do that. We do finger foods, desserts, and, like, sandwiches. Like, cold cuts, you make your own sandwich, like, stuff like that. It's fucking real easy to overeat fucking finger foods. Yeah. Like, mom's made me peanut butter balls, and it's just out there open on a tray, and it's just a free-for-all all day. Like, we don't have a set meal time on Christmas. We just, like, snack it's all set up, and we just graze, basically. Yep. Like, it's really fucking easy to overeat. Like, even if you're being conscious of it, like, every time you walk past the table, you get a, piece of pastrami and a peanut butter ball. Like, we spend all day together. So you've been there 12 hours. You've eaten 30 peanut butter balls and 6 pounds of pastrami. Like, that's not good for you. Right. You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, like, and that's like come from people that we're very much aware of what we eat and what we do and what that peanut butter does to our diet and how it throws our fat off and drives our calories up and shit like that. Like, we're very aware that nitrates are fucking bad for you, and we probably shouldn't be eating a pound of pastrami a day. Like,
it's fucking good.
It is fucking good. Definitely top tier sandwich meat.
Yeah.
You'd be hard pressed to tell me there's a sandwich meat better than pastrami.
Have you ever had Capicola?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've really liked
fucking
Capicola.
Good. Gabagool.
Capicool?
Gabagool. You ever watch that? No. The Capicola is the actual name for it. But
okay, they called it. I don't know.
You gotta watch The Sopranos, dog.
Oh yeah, I've never seen it.
But it's a slang term for it.
Okay.
But I mean, you're doing shit like that, and like, it's very easy for me and you that are hyper aware of this to just say fuck it, and then if you're if you're like me and we're a family of drinkers, you get 6 or 7 cocktails deep. It's a lot easier to say fuck it. You know what I mean? And keep on going. So I mean. Man, it's really a slippery slope because I think the biggest problem, like I said, is awareness. So yeah, we're aware. So at the very worst, me and you can do things after the fact to rectify it, not take the leftovers home, get right back on meal prep Friday morning. Like, there's a million fucking things that we can do, but like,
just planning.
I feel really, really sad for people that their options are be medicated or hire somebody that is going to fix what they could have essentially prevented. Like, listen, dude, I only train 4 days a week right now. It would be very, very easy for me to eat strict low carb. I wouldn't recommend a fast to anybody, but if you wanted to, you could absolutely do like a liquid diet, like pseudo fast on your non-training days, like just to prepare for
Right. A big
drink
meal.
enough protein and carbs to make sure you're going to feel good on your training morning. But like, there's a million things you could do, and that's maybe not even the healthiest thing. But like, if you're worried about the gaining of the weight, how you're going to feel, stuff like that, there's 1,000 things you could do going in and going out that could rectify it. But again, I think like the biggest problem here is that me and you are aware of that, and I think our listeners are aware of that. But most people aren't aware that damage could be
right mitigated. Or eliminated entirely.
Yeah.
Another thing. Well, shoot, I just lost my thought.
I mean, I got a lot of things to say about this topic, but I mean, I think that, I keep going back to the word awareness, but like, you know, if you're new to dieting, new to lifting, new to the gym in general, you need to be treating your calories Monday through Sunday, essentially like a budget. If I give you 2,000 calories a day, 7 days a week, that's probably a female client, being honest, at 2,000 calories. And those are your cutting calories. You got 14,000 calories a week. It doesn't matter that you ate perfect every day except for Thanksgiving and then ate 2,000 calories Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you ate 6,000 calories on Thanksgiving,
4,000 calories.
You're 18,000 calories for the week. You're going to gain weight. There's 3,500 calories in a pound theoretically.
Right.
That's pretty shaky science, but you know, just if you want to use basic math,
Yeah.
that's like you gained a pound that week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how good you were. Sorry, like
that's the thing.
You know what I mean? Like that's the way the math works.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the thing I was going to say is, you know, for those of us that are like planning around this stuff or whatever, just make either being in maintenance or a surplus during the holiday seasons instead of being on a cut.
yeah, I mean, the wisest thing would be, you know, we talked several episodes back, probably 10 now. We talked about what an ideal, if you're a powerlifter, what an ideal powerlifting season would look like. We took you all the way from off season to on season. Now would be a really great time to be thinking about being in a bulk. Maybe you're prepping for a meet in February or January or February, and you need to be bigger. Maybe you're doing some type of recomp. If you're a smaller person, maybe you're doing some type of recomp, trying to put some muscle on this season. If you're a bigger guy like me, maybe you made your weight loss goals. Now it's time finally to go back up and you've earned that surplus. I mean, if you're in the sport and you're aware of what it could do, you probably should have lost the weight months prior.
Right.
You should already probably be eating at maintenance or caloric surplus now.
Mm-hmm.
And even still, we still want to mitigate fat gain. So like even still, you should probably consider a reduction, maybe not in your weekly budgetary calories, but like a reduction maybe the day prior and the day after.
Mm-hmm. Just something to account for the extra
absolutely.
food.
Even if you're in maintenance or bulk, but like guys like where you used to be, I don't think I'd say this maybe now, but like guys like Chris Treese, TJ is a really good client of mine. Chris in particular has a huge calorie demand because of his job.
Yeah.
Like he's the only person I've ever fed like a strong man. He literally eats 10,000 calories a day. That is not somebody that Thanksgiving is going to hurt.
Right.
In fact, it's probably a benefit.
Yep.
Go have your fill, Chris.
Yep.
It's going to it might make the days prior and the days after easier on him because there's less pressure to overeat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like TJ's the same way. I mean, there's less pressure at that point for him to overeat. He can probably pick up a couple of pounds without gorging himself like he does day in and day out.
Yeah.
Like, there are, you know, some people that there is probably some specific benefit for, but the vast majority of us, 99.9% of us, aren't eating 10,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
Like, that's so much fucking food.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a ridiculous amount. Now, Chris is, 6'4", 250 pounds, and walks, 20 miles a day at work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's exceptional physical demand on him. Was naturally thin, good metabolism anyway. Like he was destined to be skinny without that 10K a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's worked very, very hard to put on his weight. And I have nothing but good things to say about Chris and how he's handled that. But the vast majority of us aren't there.
Right.
So, if you're a competitor you know, I do think that you're right. You should have probably planned your meets for this time of the year. You should have planned to be in maintenance or a surplus this time of year. That would have been the most ideal thing. I think you probably hit the nail on the head. Like, even if you're competing in January and February, you know, if you're in somebody like Austin's a big boy. He's a very, very muscular person. But he's a 275 and he's about 10 or 15 pounds underweight. This is his time, baby.
Yep.
Put it on.
Go ham.
You know, we got to compete probably beginning of the year sometime because we got some revenge to exact.
Yep.
Man, kill it.
Yep.
If you go a little, you know, if he's a 275, he ends up weighing 280, I ain't fucking sweating it. We can go low carb the week of and fucking cut that out, no problem. But like, I don't need him to wake up January 1 and be 300.
Right.
But like, you know, if you've done what he's done, been really, really diligent about his diet all year to make himself better, to grow into a weight class, to be stronger, stuff like that, body composition's good, and we haven't made the weight yet, fucking time to shine, baby.
Yep.
Like, everybody else, this idea that you can wait till January 1, January 1's never going to come if you're going to sit and tell yourself, you know,
New Year,
30
new
some
me.
odd days away on Thanksgiving, New Year, new me. Like, and even still, the people that actually show up on January 1 and stay probably made up their minds a long time ago that they had to change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they are very, this is something that's been on their mind for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that stay knew they were staying before they signed up.
Right.
It's not a fucking experimental thing
Yep.
for them or anything like that. Like,
A really bad thing that my mom used to do, and I kind of gained this habit a little bit too, and I have to kind of veer myself away from it. It was always, well, I'm starting my diet on Monday, so I have to eat like shit today because I won't get to eat like shit on Monday.
Yeah, happens all the time.
And I remember my mom saying that all the time growing up, and there came a point in my life where I was like, you don't have to eat like shit today.
You don't. No, absolutely not.
You can just eat normally. Like, if you want to, enjoy it one last time, sure, but you don't have to just like gorge yourself and be like, I'm going to
a novel
slam
idea
all this
here
food.
too. We're talking about these holidays. It's, and I still have clients that do this on regular days, let alone holidays. One meal isn't one day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you fucked up at breakfast. You went and had McDonald's, overshot your fat by 30 grams. You don't have to eat like shit the rest of it. It's not an excuse to like get off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
What we're going to do now is we're going to eat fucking low fat.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have 24/7 access to me. If I'm awake, I will answer my phone.
Right.
For a client. So like, if you ate bad for breakfast, am I happy with it? Fuck no. But you overate by 30 grams. Let's figure out where we can cut 30 grams the rest of the day. You're going to have to eat a fucking grilled chicken sandwich at lunch.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to, drink a couple protein shakes with fucking skim milk, not whole milk.
Or water.
Or water. And you're probably going to have to eat another low-fat meal at dinner.
Yep.
Sorry, you did it.
Right.
But
it doesn't have to derail.
One meal doesn't have to just eliminate an entire day of dieting. You can still make it. It's fine.
Even if
you have a date planned and you know you're going to eat like shit at dinner, man, perfect time. Low fat breakfast, low fat lunch. Go have your fucking ribeye and mashed potatoes at dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do what you got to do. Like, it might not be the most ideal if you're training that morning. If you're like me, train after breakfast. Like, fucking get your protein and carbs in. Try to eliminate some fat. Maybe even try. I'm a really big fan of drinking my calories if I'm in a situation like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do the egg white OJ combo, 50 grams of protein, 60 grams of carbs, right to the gullet. Like, almost anybody with some electrolytes in it, almost anybody can train on that number.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be ideal, but like, you can absolutely get your workout done. Be conscious of the fact that you're, gonna have to eat low fat at lunch too, and then go on your date, have your red wine, eat your steak, have dessert, whatever it may be. Like, but it doesn't have to, like, you can have what you want. If you're tracking macros, you can have what you want every day if you're willing to not have what you want at every meal.
Right.
Like, you could eat something bad
every day.
Every day. Like, you want donuts for breakfast? Fine. Drink a protein shake with it. know that you're going to have to cut some carbs out of lunch.
Yep.
Like, not a big fucking deal.
Potentially
You know what I mean?
fat, depending on what kind of donut.
Yeah, I mean,
you're talking about glazed
but
donut.
you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Like, the cut's going to have to be made from somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, completely busted your fat, no big deal. Stay busted on the fat, eat low carb the rest of the day, stay under your calories.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to bust it. Like, you'll hit your protein, you'll overeat fat, sure. We'll cut carbs by 100. You know, that'll free up 400 calories for what you fucked up. Just do better in the morning. You know what I mean? Like,
And, you know, some people may find that really stressful or whatever and being like, man, I fucked up, so now I got to do all this stuff. I'm really stressed about it. You know what else you can do? Just eat normally the rest of the day.
yeah.
You fucked up a little bit that day, and you can count that one meal as a loss and just keep moving forward.
You could. I mean, whatever you have, you don't even got to cut stuff. You're right. Just eat your meal prep.
Yep.
Eat what you've got cooked. Don't do it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
But like, if you're being really finicky, you can do what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And like, if you're an active tracker and logger,
Yeah.
if you're not working off of the like handwritten meal plan that I've given you, if you're an active tracker or logger, you know what you need to do to rectify that. Fuck it. The best shape I've ever been in, I ate 4,000 calories a day, was drinking X amount of protein. And I say drinking because 4K a day starts becoming uncomfortable for me in terms of volume, especially when I'm eating clean. Eating a ton of berries, a ton of vegetables, probably doing 2 or 3 protein shakes a day. I was still actively eating like double cheeseburgers from McDonald's at lunch because I had cut fat from every other part of my diet.
Right.
Like, fucking love double cheeseburgers from McDonald's. 2 double cheeseburgers and a Diet Coke. You know, if I'm real behind on carbs, might even get a fucking fry with it.
Right.
Worked out fine because I knew if I did that, hey man, it's back to another fucking flat of berries and a protein shake for dinner. That's on me.
Yep.
Like, fuck it. Like, if you're a person that likes control, and I like control, like, track and log. Make up for it the next meal. You know what I mean? If you're on a hard meal plan, like Nathan says, just don't let it get you down. Ate bad for breakfast, do right at lunch, do right at dinner. It'll all shake out. If the coach is smart, you're probably, now it doesn't need to be an ethically damaging amount of surplus.
Mm-hmm.
But I plan in a calorie deficit, I plan for them to overeat a little bit past what I actually prescribed. Right. So if
couple hundred calories.
I have a girl
roughly.
now that's 2,000. She eats 2016 a day.
Mm-hmm.
I know if she eats 2,200 or 2,300, she's still losing weight.
Right.
Her maintenance calories are like 2,600.
Right.
So like, yeah, 2,000 sucks. It's really strict, but I would never let her know this.
Right.
But like, you know, you have personal training clients who will tell them to eat 1,200 and expect them to eat 1,200 all the time.
Yep.
That's ethically fucking damaging. That's borderline anorexia.
Yeah.
1,200. There's not an adult on the planet, unless they're exceptionally small, that 1,200 calories is going to fucking sustain.
Yep.
And you can't sustain it long term, right? Like,
we're talking about damaging your metabolism in the long run.
You know, I mean, I really like, it's a bad word in powerlifting right now. Steffi Cohen, when she was with Hybrid, her prescription was sedentary lifestyle, weight loss calories are 10 times your body weight. Active lifestyle, weight loss calories are 12 times your body weight. Maintenance typically about 13 or 14. Bulking calories at 15 to 16. Mm-hmm. Like, again, depending on sedentary or you know what your work life and your gym life looks like. I've used that to great success because it's very, very simple. At 10 times your body weight, you get the same amount of protein. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you get 200 grams of protein. Fill in the rest with carbs and fat. Probably, I do give them a little bit of an option. If there's somebody that prefers low carb, they get more fat than carbs. Mm-hmm. Vice versa, you know, if you want them eating an athletic diet. Very, very cut and dry, very, very simple. Works for everybody. And it also creates that buffer because they're in the gym now. They're not really living a sedentary lifestyle anymore. So I know that they can eat up to 12 times their body weight. Mm-hmm. They'll come to you, oh, I did bad. I busted my calories by, 250 today or something. Do better tomorrow.
Yep.
I know they're still losing weight.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, and is it shiesty? Yeah, but I ethically can do that because one, we're eating enough calories that I can still ethically take calories away as they lose weight. Mm-hmm. So if you go from 200 to 1,900, by that prescription, your weight loss calories are not 1,900 instead of 2,000.
Right.
Well, I'm not starving a woman at 1,900 calories.
Right.
probably starving any of my dudes at 900
Right.
calories. But like, it's not, you've stalled at 1,200 calories, now I got to take food away from
Right.
you. Like, you're not giving somebody a problem.
Mhm.
Like, I like that prescription because there's a whole lot of wiggle room in it for me.
Yeah.
And ethically, I'm not underfeeding them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because I don't ever want to cause a problem. You know what I
Right,
mean?
for
Like,
sure.
we're there to fix them.
Mm-hmm.
If you're somebody that can track and log, I like it because it creates healthy balance and healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
If your kid my kid just turned 1, you're going to eat birthday cake. That's fine. If you're tracking and logging, you know exactly what you need to do to rectify that. Just fucking fix it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're somebody that can't live that lifestyle, and just need to be told, abstinence probably is the key.
Yep.
Fucking stay out of it. Got to be the Tupperware asshole.
Yep.
Like, two very different types of people. I've been both at various times in my life, and tracking and logging still stresses me out to a degree. But when I've buckled down and actually done it, it is the most freeing thing on the planet because I know me and Nathan can go eat Five Guys tomorrow, and at dinner, I'm just going to have to do something better.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, at the same time, going back to the original comment that I made about it, if you have not developed this awareness yet, maybe abstinence is the best thing for you
Yep.
too.
Or take this opportunity to build that awareness. Start tracking and logging the week before. Like, just start.
Yeah,
I'm gonna actively start tracking and logging.
I've done
all
it with
my
1,000
calories.
clients, and they're always surprised. Hey, man, don't change anything about your diet. Eat however you want to. Let's spend this first week tracking and logging it. You go eat a Big Mac,
Put it in.
put it in. Yeah, Big Mac extra sauce, cool. Go find the Mac sauce, add it to it.
Yep.
Eat a large fry with it, fine. Track it.
Yep.
And it always surprises when you get people, women are especially bad about this. You get I only eat one time a day.
Yep.
That's fine.
Where did you eat at?
Track your Domino's.
Yep.
You ate a medium pizza by yourself. Not mad about it. Just track it.
Yep.
They come to me and they're like, oh, I ate 2,500 calories this day. This was a stressful day, so I only ate 1,500. But the next day, me and my husband went out and we ate 35. You know, you see where this is trending. Like,
And then
like your one meal a day. You know what I mean? Like,
But don't forget
or my maintenance calories. I'm
Right.
280 pounds. You know what I mean? Like, one meal a day.
And don't forget about their extra large frappuccino that they got in the
I
morning.
mean, yeah, I wasn't
That's-
trying to just shut down their neck or anything. But yeah,
that's
like,
really something
people-
that people ignore.
people don't log and track liquids.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
you need
like,
to log and track your barbecue sauce if you're,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like,
if you're serious about
if you're serious
weight
about what
loss
you're
or just counting in general and just knowing.
tons of fat in a creamer,
Yep.
tons of sugar in a creamer. I drink sugar-free everything.
Mhm.
I still like my coffee with whole milk.
Oh yeah.
Fat's got to be accounted for, dude.
Mhm.
Like, it's got to be. You know what I mean? Like, I don't drink creamer, but like, I still like, sometimes if I'm wanting to splurge, I'll still get half and half of my
Yep.
coffee. Like, half and half's incredibly fat heavy.
Mhm.
It's fucking 200. If you could drink a large coffee, it's 250 calories to the gullet, man, of just fat.
Yep.
Like, no redeeming quality about half and half. You get a little protein, but like mostly just fucking a shit ton of fat for no good reason.
Yep.
You know, so like taking the time to build that awareness is really important. That's something I've employed, and like even if you don't want to do it, just taking the time to be aware of, hey, a serving size of pizza is like 2 slices,
Right.
and it's like 900 calories.
Very few people.
I will eat 8. I will eat the whole pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, like honestly, like, so now you've turned 900 into 3,600 calories
Right.
in a sitting. Like, I'm glad you only eat one time a day. Your maintenance calories are 2,500, and you ate 3,500 calories
Yeah.
worth of pizza. Like, I have even more, probably work related stress. I have even more and more men coming to me like, I'll only really eat dinner.
Yeah.
You know, take my coffee in a thermos to work, get busy, don't really think about it, you know, drink some water, drink some soda, whatever it is that they drink throughout the day, hit an energy drink about 2 p.m. Don't really have time for food until I get home with the kids. Great. What did you eat? Wife cooks the whole spread that day. You know what I mean? Like fucking meatloaf, fucking mashed potatoes, like everything else. Great food. Not shitting on that food at all. Great food. Not great for you. And because you haven't eaten all day, you're going to sit and eat 2 or 3 servings of everything. Like, great. You ate once, but it was 4,000 calories in a sitting. Yeah. A perfect example of this, like my family used to go eat Chinese food all the time. mainly, and I understand it now, having a family, you get a lot of food volume for really cheap compared to other places. It was just a cheap way to feed her family. I don't fault my mom for that. A serving of General Tso's and white rice, not even fried rice, is like 2,500 calories.
Yeah.
I was eating that as a kid. You know what I mean? At dinner. Like, that's great. A fucking 14-year-old doesn't need 2,500 calories worth of food in a sitting. Mom didn't know that. And I don't fault her at all. But, like, people are painfully unaware of that. I haven't ate anything all day. Do you drink regular soda? Yeah, I've had, 3 20-ounce Mountain Dews.
That's 600,
right, 700 calories. Then you go eat, 3,000 calories at dinner.
With another soda.
You ate more than I ate all day, and you ate more calories than I did.
Yeah.
And one sitting, unfortunately, there's no, unless they hire you and you're in my situation and they hire you for advice, there's really no good way to give out this advice because it just sounds like you're telling them they're a fat ass. Like, it's very, very damaging to come out and say, hey, man, you really need to track and log your calories. Like, try to build some awareness. Eat more greens. If you eat a steak, you need X amount of fiber with it. Like, I don't fucking care.
Right.
And you're probably just going to look like a dickhead. You know what I mean? Like, you go tell your grandma that she needs to cook low fat for Thanksgiving because the family's getting fucking fat. And look at how she looks at you. You know what I mean? Like,
if she
see if you're
just
even fucking invited at that point. But, like, that's the hard part about it is, like, I'm not saying be a bully, but the whole world's so anti-bully and anti-this and anti all this. Like, you can't even tell somebody when they're actively basically harming themselves.
I thought it was really...
And it does make you sound like an asshole, admittedly. Like, it's not a comfortable conversation to have, but, like, family and friends can't tell you that you're behaving like an asshole. Who can? Like, it's not bullying at that point. Like,
right. I thought it was really interesting. I think it was in the McDonald's documentary where the guy was eating Super Size Me.
Yeah.
I think they were talking about it. It was like, you can't walk up to somebody who's eating a burger and fries and say, hey, that's really bad for you. But if you talk to somebody who's smoking a cigarette and say, hey, that's really bad for you, they're just going to say, yeah, I know.
Yeah. There's like I said, there's a very big gap between what people think they know and what's actually happening. Like, cognitive dissonance was the correct description for that. I mean, but like, the hard thing about, because I've dealt with it and I've been on drugs like Contrave that help with food addiction and stuff like that before. Talked about dealing with eating disorders and whatnot before. Like, food addiction is real. The difference between food addiction and alcohol addiction or drug addiction or nicotine addiction or whatever type of porn addiction, gambling addiction, whatever type of addiction you want to talk about, the difficult thing about food addiction is food's still required to live.
Yep. All these other things aren't.
You can, and I'm not saying it's easy, right? Have people close to me in bad situations with addiction right now would never say that's an easy road if you're addicted to drugs or alcohol or anything else. But like, the difference between those things is you can actively decide, and it may be the worst thing you've ever done. It may be super difficult, but you can actively decide with nicotine, like this vape, I'm never going to touch it again.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have withdrawal symptoms. It's going to be miserable for a few days. It's going to fucking suck. Alcohol, opiates, something like that's going to be worse to the point that it's actually dangerous to withdraw from. But you can just walk away and say, I'm done.
Yep.
That's a possibility. You have to have food.
Yep.
Like, you will die without it. Like, so while abstinence is a good idea with food, like staying out of sugar, staying out of sugar foods that are actively going to, put weight on your ass, you got to eat.
Yep.
And inevitably, in a very, very busy modern time, you're going to be put in a situation where you have to go eat something that's not perfectly ideal, and you're going to ideally need to make a decision about what you order off that menu, but you still have to eat.
Yep.
You can't abstain because you're going to develop a eating disorder at that point, right? Like, you have to eat. So, like, that's very uniquely food addiction is like, well, it's still a requirement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
you can't just cut it out.
You can't just stop. You know what I mean? Like, I listened to a food addiction and recovery podcast, and they were like talking about abstaining, just practicing abstinence from all these types of foods. Specifically, most of the time it always goes back to sugar and like some type of refined carb, right? Like, And then
Probably the most
again,
addicting foods.
seed oils, which I don't really give a lot of credence to, but
Mhm.
like a lot of added fat stuff, I would say.
Right.
We're not talking about salmon and avocado and olive oil at this point. We're talking about, peanut oil, excessive amounts of saturated fat like butter, stuff like that. You're talking about abstaining from stuff like that, right? Like, well, that's fine, but like I understand that idea, but if you're an actively working person, if you work 7 days a week like I do, like I'm inevitably every week gonna find myself in a situation where I cannot go home and eat meal prep. Like I have to, if I'm going to eat, I have to go make a decision. Like, so even absence to the degree of I'm going to stay out of sugar, I'm going to stay out of oils and stuff like that, nearly fucking impossible. So at some point you're going to have, if you want to make a change, you're going to have enough awareness to say, this is fine now, can't do it later. Like we're going to have some type of compromise. And that's extremely fucking difficult for people. Like,
And that really ties it back into the whole holiday meal thing. It's just like compromising somewhere.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're going to have to, full circle now, you're going to have to actively say, half my plate's protein. I'm going to get a bite of everything else, but like,
But I'm not going to go crazy
we're not
on
going to go
everything.
crazy. Yeah. But you have to be willing and have to have that awareness.
Or if you want to go crazy on it, you have to make a sacrifice somewhere else.
Yep,
Day before, day after, both, the whole
Yep,
week,
not eating
whatever
a big
it
breakfast,
takes.
whatever it may be, like dieting in and dieting out. I mean, there's a million ways to do it, but you do have to be aware. If you want to make a change, you do have to be aware of what it's going to do to you. And again, alcohol is another level of that. Talked about it. Like if you're family or drinkers, like we're not heavy drinkers. We're not alcoholics or anything, but we drink at holidays. Like you probably don't need to drink to the point that inhibitions are lowered and, you're more willing to
Oh man, that
overeat,
cake looks
or
good.
like maybe you even, because I've done this before, maybe you even did good and managed to survive the holiday without overeating. But now you're half drunk, your wife's driving you home, Taco Bell signs lit up, and because you didn't eat that last plate of Thanksgiving food, you're like, fuck it, let's go eat, in my instance, 3 quesadillas and, a Baja Blast and suffer from indigestion for the next 6 days. Like I did all good all day, but because I'm fucking 6 drinks deep,
Man,
Taco Bell sounds good. It's late. We ate at 5. It's midnight.
I need to eat again.
No, we need to eat again. Yeah. Like,
I'm not gonna be able to fall asleep.
You can't fucking, if it's drinking, if you're a drinking family, you don't need to drink to the point that you're going to continue to fuck up. You know
You're
what I
right.
mean? Like it has to stop somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like some awareness, some control. Very hard to do. Me and Nathan will tell you it's not easy. I don't have high expectations for myself even, but like this is just the reality of the situation. So
Yeah, I guess in a sense, fortunately for me that I'm, just not super
because y'all
invested.
didn't celebrate holidays, you're not food attached to holidays, right? So like
It's just not a thing for me.
that's very rare though. You know what I mean? So you're gonna marry into a family that I'm sure is traditional about holidays.
Yep.
Like that, it might not be a problem now. It could become one.
Yeah.
Lord help you, it won't. But
Well-
you'll at least see it at work, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you
Oh,
don't
yeah.
see it in yourself, you'll see it in other people.
Yeah.
Like, but it's sad. And I wouldn't change a thing about the way we celebrate things in America, but Americans celebrate everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really exclusively Americans. Like the whole world celebrates everything, good, bad, or indifferent, with food.
Yeah.
So kind of wild. Yeah, we got a little sidetracked by a camera issue, but we're back now. I'm getting ready to wrap up. But like, if you're somebody listening to this podcast, you're probably involved in fitness. The biggest thing I can tell you is just be aware of what you're doing on those days, and try to make the adjustment either going in or coming out.
Yep.
Like, fortunate thing about like acute overeating like that is like it can be dieted out really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very much and very quick to encourage you not to be the guy that takes leftovers home.
Yeah. And if you do try and just focus on taking like proteins home.
Yeah, proteins home, vegetables home. Reach for the deviled eggs, not for the pecan pie.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Be reasonable.
I'd say if you want to take one piece
listen,
of a dessert or something home.
If you're doing it just to save grandma's feelings, she ain't gonna listen to this podcast, buddy. Take it and throw it away.
Right.
I know that sounds wasteful.
Or just take a small piece. Take something that's like a couple bites.
Fucking turn your back to her when you're making the plate and don't make it at all. You know what I mean? Whatever
Yeah.
it may be. Like, set an empty to-go box in your car seat. Beside, you know, whatever it may
like,
be.
yeah, I
Like,
already grabbed some.
we're not really condoning just, you know, shitting all over your grandma for making fatty food. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what we're getting at. But, like, you do have to be wise enough to try to mitigate the things at the very least.
Yeah.
I think maybe the best, if you're actively listening to the show, you're obviously physically fit or attempting to be, I think the best thing to do might just be mitigate it going in and going out and have fun on the holiday.
Yeah.
A single day holiday like Thanksgiving cannot stretch from Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah.
So
just let it be the one day that it is. Yeah. Fix around it, and you'll be fine. Just
if it is multiple days because that's the way your family lands,
maybe through the whole week.
Yeah, I mean,
other than those days,
but like,
plan around it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's just having a plan. Just have a plan.
Yeah, have a plan. Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't even have to be the best plan.
And for those of you that do have friends, or for those listeners that don't, that aren't actively, seeking out physical fitness yet, or have strength goals or body composition goals or something like that, when you give advice to people and stuff like that, make sure they want it first so that they're receptive to it. And second of all, try to frame it in a sense that you're still giving them control and responsibility at the same time, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like, don't be dogmatic about everything. Don't be like, oh, you can't eat this, you can't eat that, you can't do this. Like, tell them, control what they can control.
Yeah.
And make sure that they know that it doesn't have to be miserable, because at the point that anything in fitness becomes miserable,
you're less likely to do it.
Yeah. Because by the very nature of physical fitness, it's all a little bit miserable.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't need, especially to a newbie, when you guys talk to people, it doesn't need to be framed in a way that makes things seem more miserable than they are. Because I promise you, your physically fit friend is probably going to participate in Thanksgiving. I mean, it is what it is. So, don't let that person dump on you, but it is about control and controlling what you can control. And if you have those conversations with people that are new to the gym, just make sure they know that it is rectifiable. Mm-hmm. But easier than rectification is prevention.
Yep.
So maybe, approach it, like I said, in a frame of mind that gives them control over the responsibility to not get fucking fat over the holidays.
Yeah.
So, and also don't be fucking mean about, about people attempting to do better, because this is a hard time of the year for bigger people in general. You know what I mean? For a lot of people for other reasons, but in terms of food in particular.
Yep.
Be careful how you say it.
Also, if you're one of the family members of the physically fit person, don't make fun of them if they do bring the Tupperware, because maybe they just have really strict goals that you don't understand.
You spend all year talking about how did you get this way, how did you get that way, why do you look like this, why are you so much stronger than me, everything like this, and then when they physically see the answer, they want to get fucking offended by it.
Like, why aren't you eating what we're eating?
Respect does work both ways.
Yeah.
I mean, 100%. Like, you want respect, you probably need to give it. Yeah. Like, there's a reason why most of us, or the people in this room, and then most of us listening, are physically superior to every other person walking around. It's because we do things a little bit fucking different, and we try harder in a way that other people fucking don't. You know what I mean? And I'm not taking away from those people, but I would say try to be a little bit, not defensive necessarily, but stand your ground on shit like that, because those people are going to want to know how you did it later. Mm-hmm. Regardless of how offended they want to act by your Tupperware on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So, fuck them.
It's a good way to end it.
Great way to end it. We're playing Beat the Clock with a Camera. I do have a dad joke from Richard. I told you he contributed a lot to the show today.
Yeah.
You go ahead with yours, because I got to look up messages from Richard real quick.
I'll just keep going, and you just stop me when you're ready. Okay. So, you know what actually makes me smile?
What's that?
My facial muscles.
Fuck you.
Saw an old man fall into a well today. Guess he couldn't see that well.
We've said that one before.
Have we?
Still funny, though.
Bacon and eggs walked into a bar. Bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve breakfast." You didn't even blink. You're just like, God damn.
Didn't even check up on that one.
I once dated a girl with a wooden leg, but not anymore. Broke it off.
That was pretty good. I can't lie to you.
That was pretty good. Oh, I warned my friend not to play Russian roulette and went in one ear and out the other.
God damn it.
That's pretty.
That was dark.
That was pretty dark.
Oh, man. Man, I don't know where Richard sent this. Desperately trying to find his dad joke that he sent me. And I don't know if maybe the story expired that he sent it on or something.
Oh, man, maybe so.
Damn it. Richard, I'm sorry, buddy.
There went the camera.
The camera's dead. Almost got the whole episode.
Almost. I need to get another portable charger. The one that I had died, so.
Well, fuck. I can't find Richard's dad joke. And I did not commit it to memory like I probably should have, so I'm a dumbass. Oh, well. So what other dad jokes do you got? Because apparently I had none because I was 100% counting on Richard for this. Not his fault. 100% mine. Should have screenshotted or something, but I didn't realize it was on a story, so.
Once dated a girl who had a parrot. Damn thing never shut up. Parrot was cool, though.
Damn it.
You know who the strongest guy in prison is?
Who?
Mitochondria. Powerhouse of the cell. I asked my 9-year-old son what he had learned in school today. He said, apparently not enough because I have to go back tomorrow.
Pretty good joke, kid.
Quippy kid.
Damn it. Dad jokes are, they were rapid fire today, I feel like.
I got one more.
All right, let's hear it.
What kind of pants do psychics wear?
I don't know.
Just paranormal pants.
That one's so good, it's nearly frustrating.
All right,
truly.
That's
how you know it's a good dad joke, when you're like a little bit pissed off that you didn't think about it. That's how you know.
Yep.
You've arrived
like
in Jack.
Paranormal.
Dad
Fuck.
Damn funny guy over here.
No, I'm not funny. I just read off jokes I find. Somebody else is funny.
But
you know, what is it they say about it's not about who tells the funniest joke, it's about who says it the loudest or something like that.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Maybe that's it. Or to our giant listening audience of maybe 25 people on a good day.
You know, it would be really funny if, like, one day someone came up to us, like maybe the podcast got popular or something. Someone came up to us and was like, give us a dad joke. We're like, fuck, I don't know, man. Just put me on the spot.
Hold on a second. Let me look one up.
I'd be like, yeah, let me just go to Dad Says Jokes. I'm like, actually, why don't you just follow Dad Says Jokes?
Yeah, I mean, just plug them. They should sponsor the show because we talk about them as much or more than we talk about scooters, which,
right.
By the way, we're sponsored by, and they do a damn good job. So Thanks to Richard and Catherine at Scooters Coleman. They also have a location in Decatur. Scooters Coffee. Fucking drink it.
That's great.
That's
the
their new slogan.
Fucking drink it.
It's probably not their new slogan, but we drink it. We like it. You should drink it too.
Good stuff.
Anyway, that's the show, I suppose. So you can follow us on Instagram at Coleman_Barbell, at Nathan Skedios, at Sip It and Rip It. Listen to us on Spotify Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Leave likes, comments, rate us 5 stars. Don't be a hoe, share the show. That is probably copywritten by the Real AF Podcast and Andy Frisella. But we're still in it, so...
Hey, you know what?
We talk about how great he is all the time. I'm sure he's not going to sue us. We'll be perfectly fine. We'll even talk about how great First Form supplements are if you want to.
Hey, First Form's pretty cool. I wouldn't mind being sponsored by First Form.
Come on, Andy. We just need him as the 26th person that listens to the show.
Suddenly, we take off.
Suddenly. Yep. What were you about to say? You had something pertinent to say?
I don't think so.
We fucking derailed altogether. All right, that's the show, y'all. Bye. Bye, y'all. Bye, y'all. Bye, y'all. I was afraid Nathan was going to hit me for not saying something right. Bye, y'all.